Hello and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to apologize for the tardiness. We are super late today. I am having a day. It has not been a good day at all. My computer decided to take a dump right before we went live, and I'm having all kinds of audio issues. Listen, we have a great show for you. I'm going to let Infinite Umbra run the show while I step out. It's just, again, bear with me. I normally don't have any problems. Today is just, man, it's just one of those days. Infinite Umbra, listen, you have the topics list. By all means, please run rampant. And if you wouldn't mind, take care of the show as the host until I could figure this out. I'll be back.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it very much. Run rampant. And if you would.
Yes, first and foremost, I finally have the power, chat.
Oh no.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay. No, good morning, chat, folks. Good morning. You are here with Infinite Umbra. Okay, I'm acting like I'm hosting my own show. No, seriously. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. And probably for some of you, good night. So we're going to start off with introductions. Zero Mac, welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
I'm good, bro. Like I was just talking about earlier, that new drug on the street, that Starfield, man, the needle is deeply embedded into my arm, and it's not going anywhere. So,
man, got that Aurora addiction.
Yeah, that Aurora is big, like old school Valkyrie.
Right. Yep. Hey, so how many hours are you into the game now? What would you say?
I'm right at about 40. Like around 40 hours in. I'm
okay.
At the moment, I've been searching for that Crimson Fleet. I just got inside scoop on how to get in there, so that's probably going to be my mission for the day. I like to try to that game is so addictive. It's just like the satisfaction comes with getting stuff done. So
trust me,
that's what
I understand fully how addictive the game is. I am 168 hours in now.
Whoa,
how much? 168.
Yeah, we were just on your show, and you were like you were at 99.
Yeah, I have not
from Thursday to Tuesday
except this. I have been focused. Even when I go away from home, I got the ROG Ally, so I'm jumping on it there at away from home. So I can't put it down. I'm telling you, Mac hit it right on the head. It's like it's digital crack. Honestly,
bro.
I can't quit you. So, C Money, what's up, brother? Good morning. What have you been up to?
Good morning, man. I've been trying to play some damn Starfield. This is the only game I've been playing is Starfield. I just haven't been playing much of it, man. I'm at like 23 hours still, or 24, man. This is crazy.
Wow.
Man.
That's why Sarah hasn't tied the knot with you. You playing games.
That's why she ain't down right now. I don't
already laid her down and did what I had to do. You too late. Oh, you may as well switch to Andrea now.
I gotta switch to Andrea. I gotta work. I haven't even met her.
She's more fun anyway.
No idea who she is, yo.
Yeah, I don't know. I did what I had to do. She's mine now, man.
Jesus,
you too slow. You gotta
listen. Anyway. Gotta do what we gotta do. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I gotta just put it in the back of my head. I might know what happened. Just gonna let it be. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get mine.
Absolutely.
Oh,
G-Mac, you didn't mute. You didn't mute.
Yeah, got you. Hey, I'm new to this. Don't judge me.
Yeah, you're fine, man. And of course, last but not least, Danny, what's up with you, brother? How have you been, and what have you been up to?
Pretty good. I've just been working a lot and playing a lot of Starfield. So
yeah,
that's
so what's a lot of Starfield to you, Danny? How much have you played?
Astronomical, like maybe 30 hours.
That's not bad.
30? Damn it. Even he passed me. He was at like 3 hours when I was at like 19.
I played a lot. I still haven't done much of the main story. I'm at the point where Sarah's like, here's 3 different missions you can go on. Like, I want to go do something else for a while. And so I went and did the entire UC storyline, which is pretty good. I liked it a lot. It's pretty cool.
How you liking it?
You mean the UC or the Crimson Fleet?
Yeah.
No, the UC. The Crimson
Oh, the
Fleet
UC has their own storyline.
Yeah, the UC Vanguard.
Yeah, the UC actually
the
has a
Vanguard,
really good storyline, by the way.
Yeah,
you know, it's so crazy because I was doing everything else. I was making outposts, everything else instead of playing the main campaign. So I'm far into it now, but I only just did that first mission of the UC the other day, and I saw the stuff everybody was talking about, like a horror game elements. I was like, oh, this is what they were talking about. But I was so overpowered at that point. I just murdered it with like a few shots. But yeah.
Oh, you didn't have to set.
I don't want to say too
and...
much. Yeah, I don't want to say too much.
All right. Yeah. So the funny thing is right after that moment, because I started the UC, the Vanguard thing too. Right after that moment, when I was done with that and I had to go to the next planet to do something, that's when I got caught, and that's where my Crimson Fleet story started. So I have not gone further.
See,
in UC.
I never got caught. Just at one point, I like got a promotion or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, this guy wants you to go and hang out and do maybe some stuff with the Crimson Fleet. So if you want to like go and do that." So you got dragged into the storyline because you were a criminal, and they're like,
"Oh yeah,
we can make things right if you do us a little favor." But for me, the UC was like, "You're our best man. If anyone's gonna do this job, it's gonna be you."
Oh wow! I got caught with contraband, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I was just.
Oh, that's how you started it.
So if you get, I know that a lot of times that when you pull into a planet and they ask you or they scan you first, so contraband would probably lead to getting that mission, right? Because it has to be prompt.
If you're in the UC, right? The UC area.
It was so funny though, because I just was randomly going to places all around. So I landed on some moon. I think, was it the moon? It was probably the moon, our moon. And I found some contraband there. So I'm like, okay, let me take this back to Jemison and sell it off. And I forgot, oh yeah, that the UC is guarding the planet. So when I got there, it was like scanning, and it was like chances of getting away or whatever, them not detecting it 0. I'm like, oh damn. And I was I couldn't run away and try to do anything because if I come back, I got a bounty now. So where would I go? I didn't know where to go. I couldn't jump too many places. So they got me and caught me. I was like, oh damn. So that was really cool what he did though. I had
one situation where they were going to catch me for contraband, and then I was just like, ugh, and I jumped to a different system before they could finish scanning me.
Yeah, if you do that, typically they'll still have a warrant. They'll put a bounty on you if you do it.
They did not do that for me. I guess they
got out of there quick.
I saw it start popping up, and it was like there's contraband on your ship, and they're scanning. I was like,
Oh wow, they let you get away with it. They scanned me like that, and I got caught immediately, even trying to jump away. They got me later on in the game when I did it. But anyway. Moving on, man. Yeah, I'm loving the game. I still think it is going to be a game of the generation. I want it to be a game of the year, and it's not perfect. It's got its faults, but you know, I'm still loving it.
Yeah, but you know, everyone says it's not perfect, but nothing is. Nothing is. You know, so if I just look at all of the great things that the game does, and it outweighs whatever the Bugfesta or whatever they want to call it. It outweighs that by a ton. So
I agree. So I do want to point out to you guys that I think YouTube is having a lot of issues. So the reason I'm talking right now instead of Boom to host for now is because he's trying to get it settled in the background. Right now, it has you guys frozen on the screen.
Oh no!
Really?
Oh, does it?
Yeah, all of you guys are frozen on the screen. I don't know if the chat is seeing this, but the chat isn't even responding now. So I don't know if it affected the chat or not either.
I'm looking at the chat on my television, and it's moving. You know, red. Let me see the last chat was.
I think we're moving on YouTube.
Papa.
There it is. Okay,
yeah, the chat is moving.
Refresh YouTube. It is acting okay now. All right, so we're gonna move to the first topic of the day, guys. And sorry about that, chat. It's just acting silly on my end, I guess. But it was acting like that last week for us too on the show. It was just freezing YouTube continuously. But anyway, so the first topic of the day, Jez Corden has talked with an Xbox exec at Gamescom specifically about the platinum achievements. They said they want to do it. It's just a matter of priorities and time. Jez thinks that platinum achievements and the improvement achievement system will come, but it's just, let me read the rest. Sorry. But it's just a matter of getting through the stuff they want to get to right now, e.g. uploading screenshots to OneDrive. This was reported, or at least re-reported by Idle Sloth. So the first question of the day is, does Xbox need a platinum achievement or something comparable? to what PlayStation offers. And I'll start with our guest, Mac. What would you say about this? Do you think Xbox needs its own platinum achievement system?
I don't really believe they need to follow, and maybe I'm an Xbot or whatever, but I don't think they need to follow what they do. They can change it and make it their own. It doesn't have to specifically be a platinum achievement, because what do we have? Diamond achievements over here, right? So if they can improve on that in some way, that would be cool. But the achievement process for Xbox has been fine with me the entire time I've been here, and I've been doing it a while.
So you don't think there's any improvements that need to be made to it at all? Because I don't know, I feel a little way about that. I feel like there can definitely be some things added to it. I love it. I love achievements. I'm an achievement thought, but I really am. Trust me.
Right.
But
yeah. I'm thinking about all of the stuff that we already get when you play the game. You get all of those achievements and achievement points where you can turn it into actual buying games or buying gift cards. I don't know how much improvement it needs. Maybe, you got some better ideas.
Well, I guess I'll get to mine after this, but I do want to get to the other gentleman first. But so you're saying that you wouldn't change anything about it for you was fine the way it is?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So at one point, I remember, I'm sure you all remember, when they first introduced like Xbox Arcade and such, and the score, and for the indie games, they were really low. Like you would get like 100 points total, I think it was, something like that. So now they got it where these smaller games, you can get a full 1,000, if not more, some ridiculous 5,000, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say then that maybe there needs to be an expansion on the achievements for main games? Maybe they need to, I don't know. Like for me, when I hear that achievement sound pop up, I don't know, something inside me is like a kid. I get giddy.
I agree with you. That prompt is it means something, and it always has. But I'm like I said, I'm kind of simple when it comes to gaming. Like all of that, the little extra stuff, the little extra nuances, I'm not really focused on that.
Okay.
Good games for me. Everything else is just extra.
Well, let me ask you: are you even a big achievement hunter? Or is that really a priority?
No, I'm not.
That's probably why then. So to you, it's not too much of a thing for you, right?
Nah, never has been.
Before this goes past, I want to read it because I just saw him address it in the chat. Drawn TJ, I'm going to use Boom's vernacular here, drops a generous $2 in the super chat. And he says, I've played 2 days and I use cheats. It's fun. All right. Well, you go ahead and cheat, brother.
Cheat on what?
Sometimes people make a big thing about, oh, you did this or you look something up. Yes, I did. What are you going to do?
Oh, dude, I look stuff up all the time.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? This is a single player game. Let me enjoy it how I want to enjoy it. What's the problem?
Exactly.
Cheat. Let me cheat. Now, if it's multiplayer, yeah, of course. But it's a single player game. Nobody should be holding anybody to the fire.
You ain't trying to win if you ain't cheating.
Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to cheat to win. There we go. Latino Heat.
There you go.
Anyway, no.
There you go.
Speaking of Latino Heat.
See, that's how you got Sarah.
Yeah, you see? I put the spice on her. She wasn't ready for that. Like, oh my God.
Hey, I got my eye on Noel.
On Noel, huh? Ooh.
On Noel. Like that's who I got my eye on.
Hold on, Noel. Who's that?
Who's Noel?
She's the scientist from Constellation. I don't know if she's a companion, but she works there.
I forgot all about her.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, I see you.
It's gonna suck if she's not a companion.
I see you.
You've been putting all this work in for nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to make us some ambiguous babies. I got my brother there, you know what I'm saying, with Sarah. Let me stop. Anyway, see, Money, what would you say to that? And are you a big achievement hunter yourself? Like, what would you say about that? Do you think they need to improve the achievement system and maybe add a platinum style achievement?
So I'm not a big achievement guy. Like I like getting achievements. So I like when if I beat a game and I'm like, wow, I got a lot of achievements for that. That's dope. But like, I'm not a let me go back and find everything type of player. I used to be when it first came out. Like when it first popped, I was all into the grind of doing it, buying like crappy games that had easy achievements and all this shit to try to boost it up. But then once like I think Stallion was the first one, right? He got 1 million.
Right.
And then I was like, damn, I'm so far from 1 million. Like, like I'm like nowhere near. Like, this is like not gonna happen. I ain't gonna beat anybody here. So what's the point, right? Yeah. Let me just do me and see where it happens. So that being said, I do think that the idea of having a like a platinum, like their version of a platinum award or a badge or something that says I did it outside of like the 1,000 out of 1,000, you know what I'm saying? Like once you have it, the 1,000 out of 1,000 should change into something else, like a big ass stamp or a medal or something that says you did it.
So because on the PlayStation, what I will give PlayStation some credit for, the DVR system is way better, right? Like there's no argument there. Microsoft needs to get in order for that. For me, for the achievements, I do like the way they are, but I feel you there. It's like, give me something to say, hey, I completed all of it. Because when you get the last achievement, you might get an achievement that's like 100 because you got all the other achievements. You might get something of that nature, but you don't get anything like special, like, hey, you did this. Here's a, and I hate to say it, but here's a trophy, so to speak, right? So I wonder what
you should be able to say it. You should be able to like have it right on your avatar or something that shows, if you want to, right? Some people don't want to, but if you want to, be like, boom, when people look you up, they see you and they see how many, platinums or however many you've 100 completed.
They should definitely find like their own word for it. So that's
definitely not platinum
trophy, platinum.
So that gamer score, that's not enough chest bumping. Like, look at this gamer score.
I mean, the totality, I do prefer the gamer score over the way that Sony does the trophy system. Like I have 53,000 bronze or whatever. Like
is impressive, especially when you get it to the 6 digits and and like a few special people, 1 million. That's crazy when you think about it. That's crazy when you think about it. 1 million. Seems unachievable, but we know it's not.
I feel like, okay, so John Wolf in the chat just gave a good point. He says they can do what Steam does and give badges. See, something like that is cool, right? Give us something unique. And I agree with you on that too, C-Money, where maybe we can kind of post these things and like, or if you go to our bio or something like that, you'll see the most recent played games, or you can see all the games played and you'll see if they're all completed, and you'll see a certain thing pop up when you do it or something like that. Something that gives you some type of accumulation outside of the whole overall score. And maybe each individual game can give you like a special art or something like that, or a special something.
Oh, that would be dope.
Right? Maybe maybe even a home theme that you can use on the main.
I was just about to say it should be like a background that you can use.
Something, right? Like I remember Halo 4, and I'm sure you all might remember, but remember Chief was with the cloak on him when they first initially started that out. Now, we never got that in the game. However, if you look at some of the achievements, he has one of them, that poncho on. He has the poncho on with that gun that we never got to play and see. Yeah. So stuff like that.
We need a third person fucking Halo, man.
Oh, man.
I want to see Chief. Let me see him.
Do a spinoff. Do a spinoff with Fireteam Osiris. I keep saying it. Give Fireteam Osiris a third person, spinoff game where it's like more action-y kind of, you know what I mean? So I think they can really do that with them. Look how the opening of Halo 5 was with them. More people complained, oh, that's not Halo. I'm like, that's exactly how they should move. Like,
it seems like third person is a lost art when it comes to video games now. They were so popular at one point, and now it's like a specialty when one comes around, because like the Aurora game, I love that third person. I love it in third person.
I guess it depends though, right? Because you still got the Gears. Gears is super popular still. Not super popular, but still popular.
And all PlayStation's joints.
Absolutely. I was going to say in PlayStation, you can't even ignore them. So they're third person dominant.
Yeah, I guess we needed what is it? Shout out to Lord Cognito #just1.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. True.
Yeah. Hopefully that Indiana Jones or something.
Indy's probably going to be a mix.
Right.
I really want them to make that into their Uncharted.
I'm thinking it'll be a mix too.
What they're going to do with Perfect Dark? Is that going to be?
We don't know yet. I'm
still thinking it was announced as
historically that was first person.
Right.
Okay.
So
I'm thinking it'll be first person. Maybe they'll have third person moments, like when you're hiding or something like that, or sneaking around. Maybe they might do it then.
Yeah, maybe
or they could just follow Starfield, man.
Maybe
or they could just follow Starfield, man. Just let me choose.
Yeah,
I got 3 options: first person, Resident Evil style third person, and Horizon style third person.
I agree. So
you gave me every option that I could possibly want.
I'm with you. And Danny, I didn't quite get your answer, but I'm going to come to you after I get drawn TJ's next stupendous donation. Let me channel my inner Boom really quick. Drawn TJ with another $5 super chat. Super generous. The man who is more greedy than Infinite Umbra himself. He says they need to make the platinum achievement look like the OG Xbox logo. Hey, I'm all for that. I think that Xbox does really well. Like if you listen to the two systems, Xbox's sound when you get your achievement is 10 times better than what you get on PlayStation's. I think it's the best sound in gaming by far when you get accomplished something, right? So they got some things over PlayStation. I'm sorry for the background if you all can hear that. I am in Chicago. Moving on from that though, Danny, what would be your thoughts? Like I don't think you're a big achievement thought like myself, but what would you say to improve?
Yeah, I'm not like a huge achievement hunter. I don't really like go after stuff unless it's a game that I'm really into and the achievements don't seem insane. Like I've never tried to achievement hunt on like a Gears of War because some of the times they'll just throw achievements in there where it's like I'm not doing that. Like kill 40 million people in multiplayer. I'm good actually. But yeah, PlayStation, we all know it. PlayStation like stole the idea of achievements and then just ended up making it better down the road. And so I don't see any reason why Xbox shouldn't look at the things that they improved on and just take those things back. Like there's a couple of things that I think they should take. So the platinum achievement, obviously, like that's a thing. They should come up with their own name for it. Because I don't want it to be literally like 1 for 1. We stole this exactly.
Oh man, can you even imagine our Who's brothers if they did something like that?
Yeah, I mean they're gonna do that regardless because they're a bunch of animals, but whatever. I think they should definitely do that. But the thing that I also really want them to do is PlayStation is really cool where they separate the trophies of the DLC out from like the thing. So you go into like Horizon Forbidden West or whatever, and then you open it up and it'll have like all the normal achievements and then like the DLC achievements and then like New Game Plus achievements or whatever, or trophies, you know what I mean? And I really would prefer that because one of the things that always bothered me about Xbox with that is that sometimes they'll just do like an update and they'll throw in like 10 new achievements. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I had 100% of that game, but now I haven't anymore because you threw them just like straight into the same list of things that I had at one point completed. And I don't want to go back and go do this random update. Like,
no, I agree with you there. They need to keep those separate. I still want to see my 100%.
Yeah, I want to see my 100%. I earned that.
Yep.
Don't take that from me. So I think they should take those two things and then just like the general idea of PlayStation's first party titles are generally pretty easy to get the platinum achievement or platinum trophy on. And I think they should do that too. Maybe not for Gears because that one has like a history of being absolutely impossible. But I think that seeing people online being like, I platinumed this, I platinumed that. Like, I think that's just free marketing. And so they should try to make the games a little bit easier to platinum because some of the games that Xbox puts out, it'll be like just some ludicrous stuff for those achievements. I'm like, I'm just not going to bother. Like, I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, no, I agree. And actually, I've seen others say that, like keeping the 100% from the main achievements and then showing the DLC achievements separate. I think that makes the most sense. So you should not, because I had that happen more than a few times when I'm like, oh yeah, 100% this. Go back to show somebody, and it's like you have 64% done. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Like, no.
Yeah, it's how hard could it be to just make another little thing that says main game DLC?
Yeah, I think it needs like kind of a full overhaul because they haven't, to my knowledge, they haven't really changed it since they started it. Maybe like in some minor way that I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I know they've been busy trying to save the whole brand after all the issues that they had back in like the Xbox One generation. So like there were more important things to work on. But now that I think Xbox is in a good place, I think this is the time where you just take some of those easy victories where it's like we made achievements better, or we fixed the DRM or what not the DRM, the God, what was the thing you were saying? The video recording thing?
Oh yeah,
I don't use it at all.
DVR.
Yeah,
the DVR. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
But just
I mean,
not the digital rights management. No.
to Xbox defense though, with the recording the videos and stuff, it used to be a real hassle to share it straight to like Twitter.
Yeah.
Today it's not. You can just share it to Twitter. So they've made some improvements there. So
yeah,
but you can share to Twitter through the console, or do you have to do it on the phone?
You can't do it off.
You used to be able to do it through the console, but then Twitter changed their rules when Elon bought them, and so now you can share it from your phone. So you just save it and upload it to the cloud or whatever, and then you can just do it straight from your phone.
No,
so
you get
better quality.
You don't
put it through OneDrive, but if you put it through your phone, download it off the Xbox app, you can still do it that way. But OneDrive will give you better, I think a 1080p they'll give you. So if you got a clip, send it to OneDrive and then download it to your phone from OneDrive, then upload it to Twitter.
Oh, okay. See, because what I've been doing,
that all sounds like a pain in the ass.
It is a pain in the ass, and it shouldn't be that hard. PlayStation is way simpler and to the point.
What I've been doing lately with Starfield clips is just clip them, and then I would just hit share. It would download for a second and then go right there, nothing extra. And I'm like, oh, thank you for the improvements. I've been wanting to share
to Twitter,
to Twitter, bro. To Twitter, you
must have my timeline right now. The pre-alpha build or something going on. You sure you up to date on your Xbox?
Yeah, bro.
This man got the beta version. What's going on with yours? Hold on now.
Yeah, because I remember I forget exactly what it was, but it was shortly after I always call him Ellen. After Ellen took over Twitter,
Ellen.
He made it so you had to pay a bunch more to have connectivity to your other systems, or for some reason I'm not sure what his plan there was.
Oh, that's what it was.
Tens of thousands where he was charging, I think, for them to.
Xbox was just no, I'm good.
Yeah. Now you would think that Microsoft would pay it, but it is what it is, I guess. I think though that they've kind of shown that the achievement system and kind of even the DVR system, unfortunately, hasn't been a big enough priority for them. I think they need to get on board.
Right.
I think now that they've solved a lot of their bigger issues, I think this is a good time for them to go back and do some of these. I don't want to say easy fixes, because I'm sure that it's more complicated than I think it is. But I do think now would be a good time to go in and make some of these smaller changes that people have been asking for a long time.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. Hopefully next year or two we can get some of these things fixed.
We'll see.
Yeah. When you think about some of the features that they had with the Xbox One, that picture-in-picture where you could watch the game and play your game.
Yeah, I want that back too.
That was, what was it called? Snap or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah,
it was something like that.
Yeah, it was Snap.
But that was a great feature. The record this feature, voice activated record this feature was a good feature. I think that's stuff that can be done with, I guess, AI now, opposed to having to use the camera.
You allow them to use Google with Siri and all that type of stuff. And Siri and what's Google's version?
Bixby.
Yeah, well, Bixby is on a Galaxy phone, but what do they call theirs when you use it? I
think you just say,
hey, Google Assistant.
Hey, Google.
Right, okay.
Google Assistant.
I think it's the Google Assistant.
My phone, I'm surprised.
Man, my shit popped up. Sorry.
I knew it. I thought mine might do it, but yours got you.
I told mine to stop listening to me a long time ago.
Yeah.
I have to hold down the button for it to start doing it.
Your Google's listening, but I'm not gonna say nothing this time. But I guess
turned off Cortana too.
Oh yeah. Cortana.
I saw what that bitch did in Halo 5. I ain't
turn all your devices against you. It's a takeover. So we got another stupendous donation from Retro Rich. He drops a £5 donation. He says, use the original Xbox prototype as the icon for platinum. Earn 1,000 reward points for gaming one too. Okay. I like that, but it gives me a thought. Maybe instead of a trophy, maybe they can add that to a new pool of points, and I think that would make it even more addictive. Call it legacy points. Legacy points that you build up from completing games, 1,000, getting, and that's another thing I hate too, because I try to come up with a cool name and I cannot discover what I want to call it yet. But when you get 1,000, how do you say? Because back in the day, we used to say I flipped the game, right? I flipped it, and not I beat it, but I flipped it. So now, what do you call this thing if you get you complete all the achievements? I achieved it. No, it don't roll off the tongue nice. It don't sound good, right?
I did the big achieve. I don't know. Me and my friends have always just called it either 100%ing the game or like 1K'ing it.
1K'ing it sounds
yeah, 1K sound cool.
KO'd
it.
That's not bad.
Right.
I don't know. They've got people whose whole job is this.
We need to bring
yeah. Let the people who are going to get paid for it.
They're sitting in a boardroom somewhere being like, what about KO? How's that?
Or the WWE
getting paid more in that day than I get paid in
TKO
a year. Oh yeah.
No, chat. By the way, drop some thoughts. What do you guys think about what is a name they could use for?
What did Dusty say? 100 it.
100 it.
100 it.
Yeah, drop some thoughts on what you guys think it could be that we could call it if we get all the achievements for a game. Because we need something cool to call it. I want something.
Whatever they do,
cool.
They do need to apply it retroactively to all the previous titles. Like I don't want it to be like, hey, remember how you got 100% on Dead Rising 1 back in high school? Well, that doesn't count. Screw you.
You know,
do it again.
That's another thing I'll give PlayStation credit for that I want Microsoft to emulate. Why didn't they? I'm surprised they didn't do it. Why didn't they add achievements for retro games like the Xbox One games? PlayStation did do it. I was like, wait a minute.
Did they?
Microsoft, yeah, they did. I'm like, how would you allow them to do that? But not.
I think they just need to do, in general. I think they just need to do a better job of bringing over the original Xbox games because we don't have enough of them.
Yeah,
I think there's like, I don't know, I want to say like a dozen, maybe 2 dozen. But that was a huge catalog. They should definitely go back and just start getting more of them. And I'm sure once they own Activision, there's probably some of them that are in there that they can bring over that they haven't before.
Absolutely. Speaking of Activision,
so hopefully they do
60% sell for Call of Duty games right now. If you all are not aware of that in the chat and everybody, they have a 60% off for past Activision games, so like Call of Duty and things like that. So if you haven't got them, like myself, which I haven't, I've been waiting for them to come to Game Pass. I might have to look into this myself.
And they're trying to trick you.
Yeah,
they're trying to get you to buy it before they get that shit in Game Pass.
Y'all fooded it me. Sticking with Dusty's 100.
That's the indication
maybe said I Spencered it. Since I got it all. Since I got it all.
I Spencered it. Like that's like you got mossed.
Mossed?
You got mossed?
You got mossed like
Spencered, baby.
Like Randy Moss? Yeah, you got mossed.
My brother King Webb says in New York they call it, they turn the game over. All right, that's different. Oh, I like that. Double K for 2024 says mastered. I like that a little bit.
Oh, mastered.
I'm mastered.
They call it like the mastery achievement or something like that to be like, I've gotten all of it.
I mastered it.
I like that.
Mastered achievement. Oh, Pixel Bit. See, he played on my name with it. He said the infinite achievement. Yeah, I like that a lot too.
He was just playing into you.
Yeah. Well, it worked.
He's just like, I know what he'll do.
Master, paying homage to Master Chief. Yes,
I like Master. I think they actually.
I like that.
Good.
That's the best one. I don't know whoever said that. 10 points.
Yeah, that was Double K 24.
10 points.
10 points for you. I like that
achievement
one.
Unlocked. 10 points.
You just got my achievement.
Oh, Pixel Bit said you just showed the infinite loop. I like that. I like both. So okay, so Trey Max says top notch.
Chat GPT said we should call it Ultimate Achiever.
Oh, see,
I think Mastered is like
it's not bad.
Master's dope.
I do like Mastered. I think Mastered sounds really good. I'm mastered.
There's some other good ones in here, but I think that's
mastered it. Yeah.
So before we move to the next topic here, our good brother Dragonheart Yobi drops a stupendous $20 gift donation to the show. He says there is a replacement coming. Microsoft bought ClipChamp. That's right, they did. They ClipChamp rather a while ago and are secretly working on integrating it into Xbox. I saw a video of it blurred out. Upload Studio left a void and believe ClipChamp will fix that void. I remember that. I actually talked about it on the past podcast. It just seems like it's been a while. That's been like at least 2 years since they did that, and they have.
Maybe they're trying to. Maybe they don't want to like do any big moves until ABK is done. You know, like once ABK is done, that's all over, and then they'll show us like what they have planned for more. You know what I'm saying? Just to not let it get buried under the news at some point when ABK pops. There was another one too. I don't know if you saw it, Retro Rich.
Yeah, I read his a minute ago, but I'll reread it just in case. Retro Rich donates a generous £5 donation. He says, use the original Xbox prototype as the icon for platinum. Earn 1,000 reward points for gaining one too. Just wanted to reread it.
Oh, see, that's how these achievements would be wild, because if you start giving reward points for like getting 1,000, like mastering it. Oh damn! And see, it just already sounds better for mastering the game. Man, that would make me be like, all right, maybe I'll put a little energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dragonheart Yobi also added. He said also Clip Champ is also a part of Microsoft 365, so it's definitely being implemented as he's pointing out. Yeah, so
it only makes sense.
That would make sense.
I
forgot that they had done that.
Yeah, it just seems like it's been a while. I feel like if it's taking this long, when they roll it out, that thing is going to have to be stupendous. It's going to have to outdo whatever Sony has given us. And I'm not trying to do the whole, well, Sony gave us this. I'm just sorry. Sony does a really good job with their DVR. Microsoft should not be behind them in any facet, seeing how they started it. That's just the way I see it.
And they're a software company.
Exactly.
I don't use the DVR, so I don't know in what ways it's bad, but I believe you.
Oh man, yeah.
You don't take screenshots?
No. Well, I take screenshots, I guess.
Yeah. Well, see, like even taking screenshots is not terrible on Xbox. It's not it. You get the job done with it, right? But I just feel like the implementation when it comes, it used to be much better when we had the studio. Now they just got rid of that. Well, not just got, but they got rid of that, and now it's been clunky ever since. And they only just improved it like some months back. So I just feel like it's something that Microsoft should be in the forefront for. I just don't see why they would be behind PlayStation in any way. I don't like any time they're behind PlayStation, pause. But so, Brett Brigham, he had said, what about Overachiever awarded for 100%ing a game? I like that too.
It's not bad.
I like that. It sounds more like an achievement itself though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, but hear me out with the master, right? Because that's the winner. What that means is that whenever you finish a game, you get to like go on Twitter or whatever and be like, yeah, I'm a Starfield master. I mastered Halo.
Yeah. I like
that.
I think mastered. I think we need to get that going, chat. What do you all say?
Hashtag mastered.
Hashtag master. If you all are liking mastered, it's something we should say going forward, because we can make it. We the community. We can make this thing. We can make it a thing.
We can just pretend that that's real.
If you all think mastered should be the thing that they go with when we 100% all the achievements of a game, put a 1 in the chat. If you disagree, put a 2. Our good brother LMNOPO drops a generous $4.99, $5 basically. You should have just added that 1 penny. LMNOPO. I seem to remember Microsoft was working on a super resolution solution. Listen to that. He's rhyming early in the morning. A super resolution solution.
Super resolution. I like the way that sounds.
I do too. So he says, what happened to that? Yeah, I don't know. What did happen?
I got no idea.
Yeah. A super resolution solution. Wait a minute. Are you talking about? He's not talking about like not DLSS, right?
Hashtag mastered. That's dope.
So good.
Sorry, I just read it. Every game you just put like the name of the game, like Starfield. Hashtag mastered. It's like,
that's so good.
It looks like you got most saying 1. Like I only see one person put a 2. That was Nicholas.
Who's the guy who works on the tech side of Xbox with the beard?
That's what is that brother's name?
John. No. The long beard dude.
Yeah, help us out, Chad. I can't remember his name. That's FSR3. Thank you, LMNOP. Not FSR3. You're talking about Jason Ronald. Yeah, that's right.
Jason Ronald.
Here's what I want y'all to do. I want you to send a bunch of very polite and kind, like at Twitter messages to Jason Ronald and be like, "Hey, we came up with this great idea."
Yeah. Make sure you drop Double Barrel Game in there. Right, we came up with this great idea on Double Barrel Gaming.
It was 1,000 completion. We're stealing
achievement
it.
Should be mastered.
Yeah,
that's dope. That's dope.
I think mastered. I think we're gonna have to. I'm gonna tag him with this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
That. Yeah, I thought but to go back to. I'm sorry to LMNOPO because I hate that we kind of didn't really address it. But the super resolution.
Oh yeah, my bad.
I thought that was FSR3 because that deals with the resolution. So, but according to Pixel, he was talking about, where did I just see it? He said part of the DX12U API. So I thought that was for the FSR 3. So I thought that was supposed to put.
I mean, maybe that's what it was. Maybe they just went ahead and had it where they were working on it, and then it just got implemented into a system that already exists. Maybe it was FSR. Maybe they just started working with AMD on it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they were working on their own thing, got with AMD, and made something work.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because and you're correct, Lucius. FSR 2 is super resolution and 3 is for frame generation. That's correct. And they added that last year, I believe, around June for FSR 2. So is that what is that not what he was talking about? LMNOP? That's not what you're talking about right there. So I don't know. I thought that was it. I didn't hear anything other situation that I can think of. Brother, I'm sorry about that. Pixel, what do you know about that, brother? You said that it's part of a different API. What can you tell us in the chat? I'll read it out when you write it, because Pixel knows a lot about this tech stuff like that. I'm not the most tech savvy when it comes to all of that. I'm sorry to say it. So 100% mastering a game should give you a dynamic background. That's what I said, Brett Bingham. I said
of the said game.
Yeah, if you master it, you should get something special that you can show outside of the game. I think that will give. You guys remember in the 360 days when they gave us like those little icons, like the Mii's, whatever they called it on the Nintendo, where you get your little Mii.
Oh, your little Mii character?
Yeah. Remember how we had that where we could design our stuff and put our clothing on them and all that?
Oh, yeah. They were bringing it over, and then they just said, nah.
Yeah, they were just like, skip it.
Because they did the, what do they call it? Is it just like Avatars 2.0 or
Avatars,
something?
Yeah. It was like, no.
And I remember that app always ran so bad. Like, it was always so slow to do anything.
It was very
and then they just stopped doing anything with it at all. So now the only time I see it is when I look at the list of who's beating my ass in achievements that month.
Right. The 2.0 is when they implemented all of the what is that, like the arms, like the metal arms, the metal legs,
the
prosthetics, the wheelchairs, and everything like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's to be more inclusive. I remember that when they did that whole change, and they even had that guy for what was it? I forgot that game studio. I think they helped with Crackdown at one point. I think they helped. They were the ones behind it. I forgot their names right now though. But
all I know is I think Sumo finished Crackdown, but I don't remember what team you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember their names right now. Yeah, and see, 10K is way too much to ask. I agree with Pragmatic on that one. Red Monkey, but funny name. But he said he want Microsoft to have a 10,000K or 10K. I said 10,000. I don't know why I'm repeating that. 10K Microsoft reward points. That's a lot. But I will agree, giving us a little money incentive, if you will. I like.
You know what? I think they should have some type of achievement or something for reaching 100,000 on your gamer score, though, because
every 100,000
after you get 100, every 100,000 you get something. That'd be cool, because
I like that.
That's not a small feat. You have to get it in to get that.
You know, to be fair though, you can use a lot of those, as I was mentioning earlier, a lot of those cheap indie type games. You can cheat the system with a lot of those and buy them on the PC as well as Xbox. So I think they would have to keep it to every 1,000, the way they can get over, somebody trying to get over on them. Keep it to games that only give you 1,000. They can't use any 5,000 achievement points and all that, and 10,000.
For them, it's like they don't care. You spend that money to get that game, to get those points.
That's true too. I mean, I guess if you want to game the system, honestly, they probably don't care. I mean, if they start doing the thing where they give you reward points for it, then they might care then.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but reward points just keeps you into the system, bro.
Right.
Yeah, they don't give you enough to buy a game. So they just give you enough to pique the interest. Like, oh man, I got this $5 right here.
Yeah.
Let me get $5 off of this game. You know what I'm saying? Then you go buy the game.
We've already seen people, even just with the existing system, use their reward points to buy consoles. You know what I mean? Like people do find ways to 100% game that system. So giving them another,
they got the power and energy to do it, bro.
Yeah, but you figure the numbers of people doing that are far less than the numbers are not.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I have a couple thousand reward points right now, and I have not even looked at it. I probably should, but
if you sign into if you sign into the app on your phone every day, they give you an allotted amount of points every day. It says claim points every day for doing it in a row or on a streak or something like that.
And I do it myself.
And playing their game, the Jeweled. You guys play
that?
I
actually love that damn game. But you know what's crazy?
I love it, bro.
I made a challenge trying to call people out on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, I got this. You all step up.
Oh, okay. Well, fam, what was your highest that you got?
The highest I got was 40,000. I thought I was some hot stuff.
40,000?
Yeah.
No, you mean 40 million.
40 million. I'm sorry. People posting 100 something million and stuff.
I got 76, man. 76 was my high.
I don't know how you all do that nonsense. I can't get high.
You know why? I got the trick. I'll tell you right now. You don't do horizontal. Only do verticals until you finish it and you have to do just the final blocks. That's when you do horizontal. So only do verticals, because when you do verticals, it drops them all the way down, and typically it'll pop a bunch all the way down.
Right.
When you do verticals, not much. You only get that one thing that you're getting for the most part. I'm telling you, horizontals. It changed the game for me. As soon as I started only popping horizontals, it was bang, 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 baby. It just points everywhere.
Admit it, chat. Y'all were not expecting pro Bejeweled strats.
Pro tip.
You don't know what you're gonna get in an Xbox Factor podcast, baby.
But I would definitely say,
who made here?
If you all are
not here right now,
definitely earn some more points for
that's right, man.
Using the Xbox app for sure, because I use it every day. And now that I'm actually using the ROG Ally to play Starfield, I get that too for the PC gaming part. So
yep.
I get
There's another bonus.
Yep. So and it doubles day after day when you keep doing it. You get more points because you'll stay on a streak. So definitely do it.
Oh yeah.
Before we move to the next topic here, we got our brother Smokey, a member for 30 months. He said, "Here comes the boom. There's an official Xbox MasterCard available starting September 21st for insiders. You can earn Microsoft points through everyday spending." That sounds like an advert. Did they send you here?
But the thing is like crazy. It's like 22% to 30% interest.
See, now the interest is only bad if you don't pay on time. So if you all pay on time, you're good.
Yeah, if you're using it as like a cash replacement, right? Which is the way you should use credit cards.
Yes.
Now, I do want it just because I want to have it, right? Like I want to, look at my shiny Xbox Bejeweled MasterCard. I never leave home without it. I do want it for that reason only, but only as some type of collector type thing. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want it to use it. Right.
Maybe just use it to buy, because if you buy like the games, or if you buy stuff with Xbox like on their store, you get more points for it.
Yeah.
So just double up on that.
You know, yeah, like if you're gonna buy it anyway, just use that thing.
Yeah.
Get some more points for buying it.
Exactly.
And then
it's like Pixel, it's like an Amex. Use it, you know what I'm saying? Never allow it to run beyond 30 days. If you just use it wisely, it shouldn't be a problem. But see, I'm not that type of responsible spender, so it would definitely go wrong in my hands. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm like, you know what? I can use another ROG Ally. Why not?
Why not?
Start playing it like I'm playing Pokemon battles against myself or something. I choose you, Pikachu. Oh yeah, Snorlax on my other ROG Ally. Anyway,
that's hilarious.
Ninja Squirrel, I saw what you wrote and I'm laughing, but you can't put any curse words in it, brother. Just if you all are gonna, curse or whatever, just put some asterisks or something like that, because they won't show it, and I don't want to show it on Boom's thing and post it. Sleepy Goblin asked me, he said, how is Starfield running on a ROG? It's actually running really nice. Now I'm running it, it's only at 720p for me at 30 frames, but 30 frames is 30 frames. I'm getting the same on Xbox Series X. However, it's really smooth on Xbox. With the 720p, it looks pixelated a bit. It's downgraded for sure, but it still runs and plays. So after you get the settings right and everything, and you get all the drivers downloaded, it works pretty nice. I have heard, though, from my brother Boxenberger, he said that there is supposedly a 1080p 40 frames per second way to get it to work at that rating resolution. So I need to check into that and see if I can do that. But as it is, man, you put that thing to 35 watts or whatever it is, and you have to have it plugged up, by the way. It cannot run outside of that. And it heats up pretty well too. And but it does work. It does work pretty nice. No glitches or anything like that, or hitches rather. It just goes right through. It plays pretty nicely. After I got through, because at first it was giving me trouble to get that thing started up, but I didn't have the drivers installed, so it's a bit of a runaround if you're not used to using, I guess the Windows on a device like that. You have to get everything set up, and so that's a bit of a learning curve. But if I can get through it, you all can get through it. I'll tell you that. So
yeah, I have it on there too, and it runs great. Actually, last night I was on Gamers Playground with John Wolf and
okay, yeah, I know
Asante.
you're on there. Nice.
Yeah. So it was awesome.
I gotta watch
But
that.
we had a big discussion actually about this. And Asante went ahead and used that mod for bringing in DLSS, and supposedly he gets like 200 frames per second on his on the Raw Ally now.
For which game?
I don't believe that.
For Starfield.
What?
Yeah, so DLSS, DLSS, it's not on the ROG Ally, but there's a mod that you can mod it into the game.
Are you sure it's not a mod that just like tells you that you're getting 200 frames?
I mean, he said it's smooth as butter. I mean, maybe Asante knows more about that than I do, but that's what he said. So
Kay holding out all the good stuff for himself. He's hoarding all the good technology.
yeah, right.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Like, I've been struggling with this thing. Now, Dragonheart Yobi had said there's a new Nexus mod out there. I thought he was talking about the new nudity mod. I'm like, let me get my Sarah right. Got a thick on there. Is that what it is? No, he said there's a Nexus mod out there for the ROG Ally, Ally optimization. So yeah, definitely tag me in that, brother. I need to check into that. But I would say if anybody's on the fence about it, the ROG Ally is powerful as hell. It's powerful as hell. It's very convenient if you are on a go like I am, and if you can get time to play it at work or whatever else when you got free time, as I do. I would definitely highly recommend it. It's pricey, it costs more than Xbox and the PlayStation, but it is worth it in my honest opinion. I actually love it. I think it's a great investment that I've made personally. So it is what it is for me. Yeah. Hey, good morning, everybody. Anybody who had just joined, if you all have not done so, I'm sure Boom will be saying right now, please hit the like button. And if you would like, subscribe. That's my Boom's voice.
5 shows a week, guys. 5 shows a week.
Absolutely. We bring you the best of the best. I don't care. Thanks, Dragonheart Yobi. And good morning, Mav. What's up, brother? So topic number 2 for the day. For all the screaming, BG3 is a great PS5 title. I'm sure you all have seen it, where we've had our Hoove brothers tout Baldur's Gate 3 and throw it in our faces and talk about how it's so much better than Starfield, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure you all have seen it on Twitter. It's actually become very, very toxic on Twitter, unfortunately. And Baldur's Gate 3 has become a part of the console warring for our Hoove brothers. But it's funny though, because typically where they would throw this in our face and say, you're not playing games, it turns out they're not playing games. It's funny, right? Because I mean, on top of them trolling on Twitter all day, what are they actually playing? Nothing. So the topic was Baldur's Gate 3 is a great title that apparently no one has bought on PlayStation. Does an Xbox release make sense after the success of Starfield? And just to read this, as far as it goes for PSN profiles, only 3,281 people own Baldur's Gate 3 as of this graphic. 2,691 recent players, only 8 platinum achievers, just 0.24%, and average completion is 8%. Now, that game is gigantic. You're not going to beat that anytime soon, so I'm not going to hold that against them. However, you would think with how they use that as a bludgeon, you would see much more overhead there when it comes to that. So, but to the topic at hand, does an Xbox release make sense after the success of Starfield? I'll start with you, Danny. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the success of Starfield, if anything, should be an indicator that type of game performs better on Xbox than it does on PlayStation. I'm honestly surprised by the numbers that we've seen on PlayStation. I would have thought it was a lot higher. just because of how many people were talking it up beforehand, and because apparently it's a really good game. I haven't played it yet because I was gonna buy it on my new computer, but then they were like, "Well, it's coming to Xbox this year," and I was like, "Well, I'm playing Starfield anyway, so we'll see where I'm at when I'm done with that."
There we go.
Pretty much.
There we go.
But yeah, I think it'll absolutely perform better on Xbox because, like, that's the type of game that we're already used to, right? Is like it's big RPG town over here in Xbox universe, right? So it's just like. I think it's a no-brainer. Honestly, if I was Larian, I would be pretty disappointed with those numbers on PlayStation. I think it's shockingly low. Because we were looking at it, and the player count was what, like 2,000, and that wasn't active. That was like number of people who had bought it was like 2,000 some odd.
Yep.
That's really bad. Like, there's so many PlayStations out there, and when you consider that, like, what else are they playing right now? You know what I mean? Like I don't want to get into console warring too much, but so far the only first-party games that PlayStation has put out this year have been a VR title that nobody remembers and a first-party Game Pass title. So like any of these other like pseudo exclusives that they can get, or you know, third-party ones like Final Fantasy 16, you would think that people would be buying those in bigger numbers, especially with how much talk Baldur's Gate was getting online. You would think that people would see that on all their social medias or whatever and be like, "This is a really good game. I should try it out." But apparently not. So man, I honestly I don't get it. I'm a little disappointed with the PlayStation audience on that one. But I know it'll do better on Xbox, like without a doubt. Hell, I'll probably buy it once or twice myself.
You say
twice. I might buy it once or twice myself. I might give it to I might buy it for a friend so we can play it like co-op or whatever.
Okay, that makes some sense. Now, speaking of that, I mean, we much ado was made of the whole split screen thing. Like, I think all of us can definitely agree. Nobody was playing split screen like that, right?
No, well, because it doesn't make sense, right? Because right now, the two places that it's on are PlayStation, where nobody bought it, and PC, where you're not doing split screen on PC. Like, what are we talking about? You're doing co-op for sure. Like, I've definitely seen people streaming it in co-op, but not split screen. Because how are you even going to do that on a PC? Does that even make sense?
Why would you want to?
Yeah,
exactly. Why would you even want to?
Yeah, the day and age.
Nobody wants to, bro. Nobody wants to. I mean, the thing about the PSN profiles joint is that it's that's not like an official PlayStation thing.
It's not a PlayStation.
I'm pretty sure that that's something that it's almost like achievement,
like true achievements.
Like true achievements. It's something that you log into, like you sign up for that, like you sign into it. So it's not like a reflection of what everyone is doing. It's just more of like a barometer where you can be like, all right, well, it's not popping off there, so it must not be popping off in the regular world too. But I mean, you could just tell that it's not the case because there's nobody posting screenshots. There's nobody, talking about this game, bro. Like your people who would be talking about it, like the PlayStation heads on Twitter that if they had something good, they would be sitting there blasting it all day. They're talking about Starfield, fam.
They're not even talking about Spider-Man. That's the thing that really annoys me is Spider-Man's out like a month, and I don't hear anybody talking about it. The only thing I've heard about Spider-Man was a while ago when they were like, "Oh, we plastered it on the side of a train somewhere," and then the system came out, and the 19 inches of Venom. That's all I've heard.
Yeah,
like the game looks good, so I don't know.
It's so weird because, and this is the thing. Like, I know we don't want to get into like the whole console warring thing, right? But it really annoys me because our brother Everborn posted something about that earlier, and he was just talking about how
I saw it.
How they've been talking more about Xbox than anything on PlayStation, and it's like, man, don't you all get tired of this? Like, I see that, and I get tired. Like, sometimes it's fun to dunk on them, right? Sometimes, but after a while, it's like, is this all we about? Like, is this what gaming?
Like, even if it's dunkable, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing dunkable about Starfield or Forza.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this, you just making shit up at this point,
exactly,
and it just looks stupid.
It's just lying.
It just even talking about their delusion is giving credence to crazy, bro. When we should be celebrating the success of Starfield, we keep talking about these crazy people, dude. These dudes is having nervous breakdowns in real time, bro. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous, man.
I've never seen one game break a community. This game broke them dudes, bro. Broke them, and it's like, and we're seeing it, and I'm like, dude, this ish is crazy. But again, and I've always said the game is not exclusive. Just buy an Xbox. It's not exclusive. These people put handcuffs on themselves and then cry because they put the handcuffs on themselves. I don't get it.
Yeah,
just go buy an Xbox.
It's silly, honestly.
Better yet, one more thing. Play it on your phone, bro.
Well,
you got the device to play it on in your pocket.
wouldn't advise that over all the other options, but you got to wait.
I mean, you could.
Hey,
let's just stick
you got no other way.
Let's just stick to the casual. Buy an Xbox. How about that? That's what they told us for PlayStation.
Buy an Xbox or play it on PC or get a ROG or get a Steam Deck. Or
got
so many options, dude.
So many options.
Just play the game.
So speaking of the ROG ally, Francis Archer, he asked, he says, how do I use a battery pack for it, and how long does it last? I just use the battery that comes with it, brother. I haven't got too advanced.
I wish there was a battery pack.
It might be one out
there. Like one that's like made for it, like you could just like clip it in, and it's just like this bigger, bulkier.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have something out there that's probably for the Steam Deck that works for it too. I wouldn't be surprised because they both use USB Type-C, so I can see that.
Gerald, you muted yourself, my man. I don't know if you're talking to us.
Yeah, you muted.
He took his headphone off. I think he's talking to somebody else.
Oh, he's talking to somebody else. Got it.
Yeah, I was talking to the wife.
Sorry. Yeah. So again, if you all had any thoughts on getting the ROG Ally, I absolutely would recommend it personally because I think it's just dope. But again, it is expensive. So
how's the battery life on those things?
It's tough to say. I mean, if you don't have it plugged up and you're not using like super turbo mode and all that type of stuff.
Dude,
maximum overdrive.
I literally play 45 minutes at a time because I have to play it on. I don't have it plugged in, so I'm rocking turbo mode and playing a game like that. 45 minutes max.
And turbo mode
drains it really quick because I have to move.
It just makes it uses more watts.
Yeah,
so it uses more of the battery, which allows you to make it run better and look better.
Okay.
So that's why, but that's okay. I always keep my G Cloud with me. So as soon as my ROG Ally dies,
swap in between.
I just swap over to G Cloud and stream it. You know what I'm saying? I'm good.
This is so funny.
See, so Dusty said there's a 65 watt pack, so it's out there. Yeah. Okay, so I figured it would be. It makes sense, and the battery that comes with it is 65 watts, so that makes sense.
Dusty, if you have that like easy in your life, like where that is already, like that video or whatever, send it to me and Twitter or something.
ETA Prime, I got to check that out. I only just got a case for it. I just bought a carrying case I got for it. It came the other day and from Amazon, so I'm slow on the uptake when it comes to the devices and such like that.
Is it more accessible than a Steam Deck?
It's about the same. I think it's
just different because it's Windows.
Steam. It being Windows integrated makes it far easier to just play Xbox, right? So I like that a lot.
Yep.
You can also expand the memory, should I say? So there's ways about it. I'm going to use it as a Xbox / emulator. So I'm going to be playing everything up to the Wii and all that. Even the Switch, the Switch 2.
I want to emulate.
I'm sorry, not Wii, to the Switch because it can play the Switch pretty well, and also the Switch 2. Yes, I'll have a fancier Switch than anybody else. But anyway, you're welcome, Francis Archer. But to the topic here, J Mac, what would you say here on the thought of BG3? Like it's a great game. It's landed at a 96. Right. Is it a thing for? Does Xbox? I guess is Boom put the question. Does an Xbox release make sense after the success of Starfield?
I mean, I guess it would make sense for the Xbox, like Daniel McGee said, that it's more of a playable game on Xbox than I guess it is on PlayStation. So and if it probably won't come to Game Pass, but if it did, you'd have at least 25 million eyes on it and access to it. But for me, it's not a game that I would even look at because this Starfield is the RPG I'm gonna get in playing the game. So anything beyond Starfield, I probably won't even see it anyway. And I'm like you, Umbra. I'm selfish. I don't care about nobody but me.
There you
when
go.
it come to these games. So.
Hey, gaming is selfish. I've tried to tell people.
it really
gaming is a selfish thing. It's not even to try to sound like as Boom would say, a D-bag, but it's the truth. I mean,
yeah, it is what it is, and that's why
it's wild because it's selfish. But man, people try to act as if they're like they have to give their opinions for everybody else, though.
Exactly.
Right.
And
so it's selfish, but everybody's like, oh, I can't give that a 10 because the people are gonna know that there's something wrong with the game and they won't call it that. Or so I can't give it a 9 or I can't give it an 8.
Yeah.
Come on.
At the end of the day, it's always going to come down to what you see it as a game or whatever it is, right?
Yeah,
but
man.
Absolutely. Gaming is a selfish thing. Like there are games where we can play together, but when it comes to something that we want to do, it's going to come down to what we want to do. It's a selfish thing at the end of the day. I think some people just try to dodge that, but it is what it is. And you're with me on that, Mac. I'm with you on it. I agree. So, I'm on the fence, and I'm not on the fence, but I am obviously always on the side of more great games is a good thing. I'm never
absolutely
like, oh, I don't need that over here. Yeah, bring it on home. Bring it on home to me. The thing is, though, I don't know when I'll ever actually get a chance to play the game. Like I said, I'm stuck on Starfield. I saw somebody earlier in the chat said something like they're on their 5th playthrough, New Game Plus. I'm like,
man, well, that's crazy. I'm not even close to beating this game yet.
I have to be at least midway on the story, but I've been doing everything else outside of even missions. I've just been building and making ships and things like that, stealing things. I've been doing, taking people, killing people. So I've been doing a lot of stuff outside of
all the things you need to do.
I just found out yesterday that targeting ships to kill the engine was a skill, dude. I've been trying to do it and trying to do it.
Yeah.
Why can't I aim at these ships?
You know what's messed up? This is the one thing that I'm so thankful for my playthrough, because I did bounty hunter, and if you're a bounty hunter, you automatically get the piloting skills.
Wow.
So I can target right off the rip, and you get the jetpack the right way right off the rip. Everything was dope. Love it. That was the best choice.
I think
I'm trying to upgrade my piloting right now.
Please tell me you guys got the suit out of the lodge, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. Do you know about that, Danny?
I know, but I haven't done it. I know about it.
Oh yeah, it's the best suit, man.
The best suit in the game.
Is it the best overall? Because I found pretty good ones.
Maybe not in the whole game, but you take a long time to find something to beat it.
Yeah, you don't get all of those extra perks that the colored suits get, but for the most part, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's like 120, 120.
Yeah, that physical's 120.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything higher than that.
But me right now, I'm using the advanced. Look, I got the game on pause right now. I can look it up. Hold on. Sorry.
He's been playing with this all time.
He's over here running the show and playing.
I can't wait to get back to this game. I'm sorry, y'all. Advanced mercenary spacesuit. But I'm not even going to tell you all what to get it because I don't want you all to get this. I look too cool with it.
This is for me.
Stealing my swag, my drip.
Yeah.
But I got the advanced mercenary spacesuit, and I put actually because you can. What the cool thing is what I would prefer if they did. Like I don't want to keep going on a tangent of Starfield. I'm sorry, everybody. Keep going back to Starfield.
Everything, bro.
But you can put different items, different armor pieces together that kind of comes up with a unique look that looks like it actually belongs together. So I got the refined Trackers Alliance jetpack that matches with the gold on the arm pieces. And I have the Pirate Sniper space helmet, which looks dope.
You mixing and matching, huh?
The number like hashtagging on in red on his face.
Yeah, nice. You mixing and matching.
I'm mixing and matching, and it looks dope. If you all go to my tweet on stats that you can use, you'll see the armor itself. It looks pretty dope. But getting back off of that, I'm sorry. Yeah, Kwana said I'm gatekeeping the space.
The creator of God of War. This is his favorite single player game of all time. The creator of God of War,
David Jaffe. Yeah, man.
That's actually some crazy compliment for him to call
it. That says a lot coming
single
from
player
him,
game of all time. Oh, I think there we go. There he goes.
Hey, what's going on?
I was like, there's a big change on the back end.
Listen,
look at that.
I don't know where you guys are. I just want everyone. First of all, we got a lot of people in the chat. I appreciate you being here. I'm putting it this way. It's been a day. It has been a day.
Really.
The microphone still isn't registering, and to make matters worse, folks, now I have an all-in-one. I'm not a PC guy, right? So the all-in-one slips out of my hand, hits the desk, and cracks the screen, which is cracked right now. And Mrs. Boom obviously is going to buy me a new PC. And well, I have to just kind of 99-cent store this shit until I can figure it out. It has been a day.
Wow, that sucks. Donkey.
Yeah, the microphone. The microphone. You can hear me, but the audio is not registering. It's coming out of. It's been a day, folks. So, needless to say, I'm back. I'm going to let Umber continue to be the host that he is, and I'll just I'm going to be the guest on the show here.
There we go.
And you just do your thing, brother.
Well, you know what? I'll rewind back time there for you, Boom. So we had a discussion. We were on the second topic, basically, and so I'm going to go back to the first one because I want to get your take on this. So the first question that we had, first topic, was about the Xbox achievement system and us getting platinum achievements with something comparable, right? So obviously what PlayStation does. And I think we came down to a consensus that most of us agreed on. And it was by Double K24. And he called it, if you get all the achievements in a game, mastering it. I mastered the game. So
hashtag mastered.
Yes, and I'm going to spread that word and I'm going to get it out there. Thank you, Double K24, for that, and for everybody else who agreed. We need to get that out there and into the world. I'm going to start posting it on Twitter. I'm going to tag Jason Ronald, all of that. But Boom, what would you say then to this question? What would you do to add to what we have with the achievement system and to make it more viable? I mean, comparable to what PlayStation does now, because to PlayStation's credit, they definitely copied that from Microsoft, but there's nothing wrong with emulation, especially when you improve upon the design. And I think they did, to their credit. What would you do to make the achievements, the system, the premier system there is? Now, I still think that the chime that we get is untouched. There is no other platform, even with like Steam. It's like ding. It's like, nah, that doesn't do it for me.
I don't pay Steam achievements any attention. Yeah.
Exactly. They don't. Epic even. It's like, nah, nope. So what would you do to make Xbox achievements again the premier achievement system, if you will?
Well, it's an interesting thought, because for me personally, when Jez said, that Microsoft is aware that like the platinum achievements situation, I would really, really dislike if it was called platinums. Don't copy PlayStation. I don't like that at all. I like the idea that you put forward when I got back in here. I like the master. Like there's some sort of a master achievement when you get 1,000 out of 1,000 for any game, like several people have done, like recently in like Starfield. Danny Pena is a perfect example of that. That dude got 1,000 out of 1,000 achievement points. Now, there's been, I'm sure, many others, but it would be pretty cool in an era where achievements launched with the 360. I think what Xbox was so far ahead back then, and they revolutionized what you do as a gamer. Like, I know there's a lot of people that think that, when something like, for instance, when you're playing a Nintendo Switch game, there are no achievements. Now, there's some rumors that they might have some sort of an achievement system, but to be honest with you, even if they do, I'm really not going to pay it any attention. Trophies, I have a couple of platinums myself, some that I'm proud of. Spider-Man 2018, I got a platinum for that. The Samurai game, Ghost of Tsushima, I got platinum on that, which I'm very proud of that.
Love Ghost of Tsushima.
That's just I cannot wait for the sequel. Mm-hmm. I'm a trophy away from the platinum in Spider-Man Miles Morales, because I absolutely loved that game. I have like a few. The trophies are great. I used to care more. The problem is that I only game on Sony's machine when there's first parties. Like, I'm going to care about the achievement or the trophies for Spider-Man 2 because I cared about them for Spider-Man 2018 and Miles Morales. So it's going to matter to me. Mostly other things, I don't really care. My heart, of course, like a lot of people in this on the panel and in the chat right now, is achievements. And I think that I love hearing the the special achievement come up, the diamond achievement, but
A diamond.
I do like the idea of the quote unquote master achievement for, I think it's good for credibility. Like, I got 1,000 out of 1,000 in Starfield. It shouldn't just say 1,000 out of that. There should be something next to it that makes it special.
Yeah,
I would also solve the problem when they add more points to DLC for the DLC. Because if you got the original 1,000 out of 1,000 and then you mastered it, you would still get the badge, or you would still get the thing that you can demonstrate that says it. And then if they add more DLC and it goes up to like 1,250, it doesn't matter because you still got the proof that you mastered it.
Hell, give us something more. Like, one of the thoughts I had, Boom, I know I'm not unique in this. I'm pretty sure other people have said it before, was that when you do get all the achievements, and if you master the game, as Double K24 pointed out, then even Edward Lafferty, I want to read that in a second, but they should give you something special, like maybe a theme, right? You can get a special theme once you get this and add it to your home screen of the game.
Yeah,
maybe something special like that, something specific that once you beat that game, this is something you definitely can show off. And it could be something that, I'll go a step further. You know how when we get themes, people can't see our themes off. If they go to look at our profile, they can't see that. I would make it so that people can actually see our themes, so that could be shareable to kind of use it as a trophy in itself to say, look at what I got for doing.
Even if they give you like a Twitter version, you know what I'm saying?
They can make it more social on Xbox with that.
Yeah,
I actually like that idea. I think making it more social, it would be the smart move, actually, and it can go further with it with the Xbox app, because it'll make it easier to type and say what we have to say versus the controller.
Absolutely.
So show it like that, and then on the Xbox app you can look at the profile and see what they're showing, what we're showing for our theme, as long as it's not an added thing that we put ourselves. If it's one that's from the Xbox, of course we can show it, but if it's a self added,
the self ones wouldn't be good, because someone would be holding their joint in their hand.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But it should be easy enough for them to know if it, like, they could put something in the theme that they give you that triggers it for them, that knows, okay, you put on that theme, that's one we gave you, you can show it, whereas you can't show something else. I think that's dope. I think it'll be really cool.
Yeah. So Edward Lafferty pointed out, he said mastery milestones. I like that. Bronze milestone should be needed for reviews. Different rewards, silver and gold mastery milestones. Get all the achievements and get the grandmaster milestone. I like that.
Yes, I see. This is, folks. This is a wonderful conversation. We're probably not going to get a lot of views because people are like achievements, but I think this is a conversation that I'm happy to have here. Shout out to the chat. Again, we have about a little over 350 people here. I don't know if people are like, I'll catch it on the replay because Starfield, and I get you. I was playing Starfield literally up until I just finished finding the first, and that's a mission. Like, I've been here, there, and everywhere. I'm very, so just out of curiosity, but first of all, thank you so much for handling the show. Did we talk about Baldur's Gate yet?
We talked about it. We didn't go into great detail, but we did speak on we actually all covered it. Actually, we did go into some detail.
We just started,
yeah. We were like toward the middle of it, I guess, when you jump back in. So
I did, while you guys were talking, going back to the achievement thing, I did look up the Baldur's Gate numbers on PSN profiles, so I didn't know that wasn't like a super accurate number for how many units were sold or whatever, because I don't use PSN profiles. I don't know how it works. So I decided to look up a comparison point. First of all, Baldur's Gate 3 is at 3,800 ish now, so it has boosted up quite a bit. But when you compare that to just another AAA game that came out this year, I picked Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2 on PSN is at 19,100, and Hogwarts Legacy is at 87,000. So yeah, wow. Baldur's Gate 3 probably has significantly more actual sales because, like you said, PSN profiles is only for people who actually use it. I guess.
But I think the scale still works.
But yeah, but
like
you can still see like it would have sold significantly worse than Hogwarts or Dead Island on PlayStation, which is honestly really sad because I mean, obviously based on review scores and stuff, it's like way higher than either of those. So
it's funny
why they're not showing up.
9.5 or 9.6 or 9. Whatever it is,
Like
they don't want to play it. Meanwhile, everybody's playing this IGN 7 nonstop.
IGN 7,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I really wanted to bring up the conversation on that specifically. You know, when you know Baldur's Gate. Let's make no mistake here. And I saw some people in the chat were a little bit triggered by the title of Baldur's Gate. You know, being important or not important. I have the title in front of me. I don't think it's triggering at all. Baldur's Gate is an achievement upon achievements.
Yeah, it looks great.
This is a team now. I say small. They have 400 employees, but understand the significance of the significance of Baldur's Gate to gaming itself is going to go on for many years. This is a triumph for that studio. Larian Studios made something incredibly special. Now, granted, this game has been in early access for 3 years. So what you're playing is what the community has asked for. And Larian Studios, who is no slouch, they are a legit studio, answered the call. Baldur's Gate 9.6 or 9.7, I think it is, that's on Metacritic, isn't an accident. The question is, though, now, granted, we've seen them, and unfortunately, Umbra has have gone toe to toe with some people championing this game on PlayStation 5. And look at the numbers, folks. See, this is what I don't get. They tout the numbers, they tout this game. Oh my God, it's PlayStation 5 exclusive. Then they got called out for it. It's not a PlayStation 5 exclusive. It's probably coming out next month, or at least the latest in December. It's going to launch on the Xbox, so it's a multi-plat. And all of the grandstanding by many people in the PlayStation community, look what they did. They didn't even go out and buy the game, man. Like, I mean, so
by the time we heard that the game was coming to Xbox this year, all of that trolling they used that for stopped right then and there.
Yep.
It's so funny because, like, okay, so when Hogwarts Legacy came out, people talked about that for a decent amount of time. Dead Island 2, nobody talked about it at all. Baldur's Gate, it like owned the internet for basically up until Starfield came out and just took over that conversation.
Yeah,
it's
completely took it over.
Ludicrous to me that Dead Island 2 on PSN profiles at least is 5 times the number of sales of Baldur's Gate 3, and Hogwarts is like 22 times the sales of Baldur's Gate. Like, that's insane.
But it's insane, but like, it's not, when you think about the people who said to themselves, I want a PlayStation, CRPGs were not part of that decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody who lined up for a PlayStation 5 saying, yo, I can't wait to play the next Baldurs. Like, no one. Zero. All right. So that's why, you know what I'm saying? And it just shows how disingenuous it is. Those people who are on Twitter. I mean, listen, it should be talked about. I'm not a CRPG guy. Me either. I started BG3 and I loved it. I was deeply in love with it until the week of Gamescom, when all the Starfield hype really got real. And I haven't touched it since. And since that week of Gamescom, I've only thought of and played Starfield. So as much as the game is dope, okay, for someone who's not obsessed with CRPGs, I wasn't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a fling, right? Like, I had fun with it. It was a good time. I appreciate it. I told it I'll call it back one day. But
taxi fare on the nightstand.
Yeah, that's it, man.
That is hilarious.
I think there's a lot of people like me too who played it, enjoyed it, and Starfield came around and was like, all right, we're done.
So Baldur's Gate 3, isn't that an original PC game? It started there, right? Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 1 is like, it's like pre-war games. Like, that game is old.
It's old.
It's like
war. Yeah.
So it's with all of the talk and praise that our Hooved brothers and sisters have been given this game, it's not even particularly their type of game, actually, right?
It is not.
So
no, that's what I'm saying. They were never going to think about that game.
So the only thing Baldur's Gate did to the PlayStation side was expose them, basically.
That's a funny way to put it, but it's true.
Wow.
Well, look,
I didn't mean to cut you off, Boom.
No.
All I can say is, welcome to my world as an Xbox player in the Xbox One days. Welcome to my world, not having anything. Welcome to my world is all I can say to them, and they'll be all right.
Well, listen, we're a little older. People don't understand that sticks and dots were a thing. Now people are starting with PlayStation 5s. Good luck with that, man. If you're starting with a PlayStation 5, you're definitely getting the holodeck. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But look, at the end of the day, my question really was: does Baldur's Gate 3 actually make sense to release on Xbox when Starfield has literally even and that's the thing that's crazy with Starfield, regardless of whether or not the few sites gave it a 7, it's a very unfortunate, and even IGN continued their onslaught even just a couple of days ago, where Dan the Man was out there saying, "Oh, I don't really care for the stealth." Dude, you gave it a 7. It's okay, man. Move it on.
Don't do the stealth then.
Yeah, like stop talking about it. I put it in our, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I put it in on Twitter in our group chat, and they did a deal, okay, for Octopath Traveler 2, right? So this is IGN deals, right? And they go and they start talking. They say, well, I gave it a 7 because I thought it was a good game. But afterwards, people told me that I was wrong for giving it a 7. And then they put that one. Then he replied to his own tweet saying, "I apologize for my bad."
Shouldn't have done it.
For my bad tweet or whatever, for my bad rating or whatever, and that will work better in the future. I was like, oh, guys, let it go, bro. Like, they keep bringing it up, I think, because it brings them attention, right? Like that's what they want. They want the attention. They want the clicks. It makes sense. I get it. It's business, but it's like, come on, guys, come on, like just fucking stop, dude. It's so bad.
They can't stop now. They're so embedded in this lunacy that they don't even realize that it's lunacy. They think it's normal. Like I say, I'm 53 years old. I'm an old guy. Hashtag gray beards are the foundation. But bro, these dudes, man, dude, it's like
it's happening, bro.
I don't understand. Like I said, I never thought I would see the day that gamers would try to convince gamers to hate games. I just can't wrap my head around that. I just can't. I'm like, how do you say you're a gamer on one hand and the very next breath you say I hate Xbox? Huh?
Yeah.
That is a Scooby-Doo moment if I've ever heard one.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Well, let me ask you all though. Outside of I think myself and Danny already talked about it, and you already played a bit of it. Will you be getting back to that game this year? Do you think you'll jump on it at all? Boom? Yeah. Like, do you all think you'll be touching that game this year? I don't think I will.
I highly doubt it, because not only am I playing Starfield, but whenever, if ever, I come off of it, there's a long list of games that I want to hop on before I would get back to it. Like, again, it's not my type of game. So the fact that I'd said, all right, the hype was real. That's what got me into it, right? I had FOMO. Everybody was talking about it. I was like, F it, let me try it out. And then I actually ended up liking it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to play it. But now that, first of all, the FOMO's gone. I have no reason to go back. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody talk about this game. Is not in my mind anymore, right? Like, I've moved on. Will I ever go back to it? Maybe. Like if there's like a dry spell and like there's nothing going on and I have no, but then I would just feel like I would just hop back into Starfield, right? Like I would just be like, all right, nothing else is happening. I've already put so many hours. I'm still gonna go back to Starfield, right? I don't know. I don't think so.
What about you, Daddy? You're not probably
there's so much. There is so much at the end of the year coming. I don't even know. I mean, you got Spider-Man, you got Alan Wake. The list is just astounding. How many good games?
Lies of P
comes out.
October is going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's. I mean, listen, a lot of people in the chat. House Flan is very much looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3. And you know what? If you are, that's awesome. I figured, listen, it's PC, Xbox, PC. I definitely think Xbox is going to have more players, more people buying the game.
I
I don't think
guarantee
it's
it.
coming into Xbox Game Pass.
For
I just
sure.
don't, because Larian wants the money for the sales.
Yeah, it'll go in there eventually, but probably not like at launch day.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, maybe Microsoft drops the bag on it because it's late coming to the platform or something. But I wouldn't expect it.
That would be
Could
a
be.
crazy
very well
grab
be.
right there if they did.
Did you guys, by any chance, get into the talk of whether or not Starfield has a shot at Game of the Year? Did we talk about that yet?
Not yet. I was going to try to read these super chats unless you want to read them. Boom.
Yeah, you know what? Oh, yeah, I got them in front of me.
Okay, you got it.
So the first one of the day comes to us from a very good friend, generous friend of the program, Drawn TJ. He drops a $2 super chat and says, "I've played 2 days and used cheats. It's fun." Listen, brother.
We read all of those.
Sure, listen, you're supposed to enjoy the game however you want to enjoy the game. Hopefully, again, those cheats did not disable your achievements, because that's why I will not use cheats. I'm an achievement whore. He drops another $5 super chat and says they need to make up the platinum achievement look like the OG Xbox logo. That would actually be kind of cool. Good friend of the program, Retro Rich, drops a $5 super chat and says use the original Xbox prototype as the icon for the platinum. Earn 1,000 reward points for getting one too. Wow, you see, now that is a great idea. Incorporate the achievements into Microsoft reward points. They would be out of business. They'd have to pay a lot because a lot of people. Dragon Heart Yobi, great friend of the program, great friend of the community. He drops, folks, a very generous $20 super chat and says, "Is there a replacement coming?" And Microsoft bought Clipchamp a while ago and are secretly working on integrating it into Xbox. I saw a video of it blurred out. Upload Studios left a void. Believe Clipchamp will fill that void. I didn't know they bought that company. I know exactly who the company is, Clipchamp. That's pretty interesting. That's a fantastic theory. Elemental Pio, good friend of the program, just a very generous $5 super chat and says, "I seem to remember Microsoft was working on a super resolution solution. What happened to that?"
DVR.
Yeah, the DVR still not really good, to be honest with you. It's kind of stinky still. I know Jason Rollins talked about that, and I don't know when that's going to get an update. Hopefully,
it's Clipchamp just needs to be what they use, because Clipchamp is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
So they could actually just put it right in there and let you mess with it like you would Clipchamp. I think that would work great.
That would be dope if they added that. If they added that to the DVR, that allowed you to use, because Clipchamp is pretty stout. I mean, they could dumb it down for just simply you record your video, you can edit it. I wouldn't imagine you're going to be able to do anything like to it video wise, but just in order to shorten or lengthen your video clip, that would be kind of dope.
Let us use mouse and keyboard on it too, right?
Yeah,
plug it in, and then you can actually do more editing if you want it, right? If you're at controller, just basic, plug in mouse and keyboard, go wild.
Nice. I like it because like I said, I know the software. Software is pretty good.
They can go even further than that. Allow it where you use it on your PC, maybe off the PC at Game Pass, and do even further.
Now that's
link it to it automatically.
That is a thought. Actually, it would be kind of dope if you could use your PC to edit it and actually save that to like your video files, like drop it into your video files. So when you were going to do a show like this and you wanted video, boom, you just drop it in there. There you go.
That would be epic.
That would be dope. That would actually be really cool. I love the idea. Last super chat is Drawn TJ drops an additional $10 super chat and says, "Let us choose to have different Xbox dashboards from all gens. Let us have the ability to turn on and off the snap feature so I can play Starfield and watch Boom at the same time." The snap feature, a lot of people missed that. I didn't utilize it, but I know a lot of people did. So, Umbra, I'll start with you, man.
There's one more. I don't know if you didn't read that one.
Oh, no. Let me see. Where is it?
Rider for Life.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Rider for Life 76 drops a $5 super chat and says, I don't think any of you have played Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I have not, and I probably will not because CRPGs are just not my bag. But after hearing C Money's story, I might give it a shot. Because, like I said, the game is astoundingly awesome. I just don't.
I have almost 18 hours in it. So he's right. Like I mean, I wouldn't say he's right. I think the acting and the cinematics are really good, but
yeah,
I don't know. I really like Starfield. So like I like the way it looks and the way the talking is, but
well, I mean, he does say a good point. He says here it has way better acting and cinematics than Starfield. The game is way different than the older Baldur's Gates. I say try it. And I mean, the thing is this, Rider for Life. First of all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the generosity. Starfield and Baldur's Gate are going in two different directions, and they're not even going to cross paths. One is CRPG in the
turn-based
classic way possible, and Starfield is a sandbox. Go anywhere you want, play how you want, be a hero, be a villain. Totally different. I know there's choices made for both games. I mean, they're RPGs, so I would imagine that the choices do matter. But I think that they're going for two different things. And you know what's great? They can exist together. They can have their fan base, and both could be at the end in the Game of the Year conversation.
And that's a good point. Like the whole thing is, people have, and our Who brothers are responsible, but they've tried to turn this against the us versus them thing with these games.
And it's not that.
And they don't have to be right. They can coexist.
Yeah.
We can enjoy both. Yeah, we can be enjoyers of bear loving over there and spacefaring adventure over here. No, you stop.
Well, because I think it's the difference between the two for me is like Baldur's Gate, from what I understand, to put it in like a I guess a metaphor, Baldur's Gate is like a regular sized pool that you look because it's just so deep, right? Like you can't go anywhere, do anything, but in the scenarios you're put in, you have infinite freedom on what you can do with it. Whereas Starfield is like an ocean, but you look down and you can see the bottom, right? Like you look down and you can see, you might not be able to swim down there or want to swim down there because like there's a lot of work you would have to do to actually get to the end of what you can do in any of these particular mechanics or whatever. But you look out and you're just in the middle of the ocean. There's so much you can do anywhere, right? So it's very much like two different principles of what makes an RPG bigger or better, and there's no reason that they can't both be great.
I agree. I absolutely agree. So Umbra, let's guys, we have about 17 minutes before the end of the show. I'm curious. Umbra, I'll start with you first. Can and should Starfield be considered for Game of the Year? Now, granted, it's not a 90 meta. It was. It's now an 86 on I think 86 or 87 on Xbox, 88 on PC. I think that's quite a fine score. Now the question is, Everborn brought up a great point. He said that Baldur's Gate 3 is considered by many, and I agree with him, to be a niche title. And that's I think that's a very fair point. It is very niche. I'm not saying that it's not good. I'm saying that it's a niche title. Last year or the year before, when Forza Horizon 5 had like right before the Game Awards, like 18 million players, right? And everyone thought for sure it was going to be one of the nominees for Game of the Year because, well, it's hit numbers unlike any racer before. But the excuse that was used by many is it's niche. It's a racer, so it's niche. Now you kind of now we got to kind of shift over and we say, well, Baldur's Gate 3 it's worthy of its 97 meta, but it's a niche title. Does that mean that it shouldn't be in there? Absolutely not. I think that to be preposterous. It should be in the Game of the Year conversation for sure. With that said, though, it's now you're getting people starting to suggest that Starfield is considered niche, which is a Bethesda game is not a niche game. That's pretty ridiculous if you're pushing that narrative. Umbra, can it win Game of the Year? I mean, it's a stacked deck. There's no doubt about it. I mean, when you consider who's going to be in there, Breath of the Wild, Baldur's Gate 3, potentially Hogwarts. There's quite a few big ones in there. I believe in the 6th, Starfield must be there. It's worthy of it. It's zeitgeist level. Everyone, even the haters are talking a lot about Starfield. So
they're doing the most talking.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the most talking about it.
Most of us are just playing the game. Yeah.
At this point, you got to thank them for the free promotion because wow, it's just insane.
Jay Sway said Ghost of Toshiba was in 83 and it got nominated. You know, and that's the funniest part there. Ghost of Toshiba.
That's hilarious. That might have been the phone or his app probably automatically.
What's funny is that they used the score to try to tear down Starfield, but then some of these folks got caught up because I don't know how the internet is undefeated. A bunch of this you where people promoted Ghost of Tsushima as I almost said Toshiba again, Ghost of Tsushima as their game of the year back in 2020, and now they're like, oh, that's all Starfield got. How could it be this? How can it be great and win game of the year? But you all argued the exact opposite for an 83 rated Ghost of Tsushima. So what's the problem now? See, it's ridiculous. But I absolutely think this game can be game of the year. We actually talked about this a bit on the fix last week. And my question to the panel was, can Starfield, with the score it had at that point was an 88 and 86, can it be a game of the generation? For one, we all agreed that yes, it can be a game of the generation regardless of that. And to be clear, yes, an 86, 84, or whatever else these critics gave it is still a great score at the end of the day. Now, I think it's getting unnecessarily dragged. I mean, we've seen a few that we can point to directly that we know had an agenda. But like the Jimquisition, for instance, right? So that's pure agenda. There's no other way around it. I mean, he's pretty clear about his bias against Xbox and Bethesda. There are no two ways about it. So I feel that they need to correct that somehow with the critics they allow to vote and score these things. There needs to be something done about that, because if you have an open bias, you should automatically be disqualified. You're not given a fair review by its nature, as fair as you can, because bias is going to play a part no matter what you do, whoever you are, right? But my thing is, yeah, absolutely, it should be nominated for Game of the Year. I don't know if it'll win. We do have Battlestar Galactica. We do have Baldur's Gate 3. I think of BGS when I think of BG3. Anyway, Baldur's Gate 3 absolutely deserves its place as a nominee, right? And then, of course, we have some other past great games, Hogwarts Legacy. Now, I don't think Hogwarts Legacy is going to win. If it's even nominated, I'll be surprised, because the controversy around it, I imagine Keighley wants to avoid that. I we'll see. Maybe they'll surprise us and it'll be nominated. It should be nominated. But
it's just sad that all of those backdoor agendas are implemented in games.
Gave it a 40, crazy, a 40. Man.
Yeah, see, 40 you should just be disqualified as a critic from that point on. 40 is something for a broken game. It's not something you give to.
Yeah, Metro Game Central gave it a 60. Mirror Station gave it a 58. Starfield is far from meeting expectations that it has generated over the years.
Context, those guys gave it a 56 but only played 5 hours. Again, disqualified from that point on.
Yeah, also, their review was just like the transcript of a podcast. Like they didn't even write it down or anything.
It's ridiculous.
They were just like, so I played 5 hours and I kind of hate it. And it's like, dude.
Okay. And at the end of the day, we all knew that the reviews were going to be coming in tainted with heartache, butthurt, and just we knew it.
An agenda.
So you really can't take any of the reviews from the people who are feeling some kind of way about the game seriously, because they're feeling some kind of way. None of it's going to be a real review. So it is what it is. I'm glad the game is strong enough to stand on its own.
I mean, the thing is like, because a lot of times when we talk about the whole review system situation, a lot of people make a thing about, well, who cares what they think? I don't give a damn what they think. The problem is I care that what they say and what they give the score of, what matters in some way, right? As far as the score.
Agreed.
And
because how it's
Starfield deserves a fair scoring. Every game deserves at least as fair as people, again, I know bias plays a part, so I'm not ignoring that, but every game deserves a fair criticism and a fair review. It should not be based off your personal biases and agendas that you have. And that's the problem I have with the whole system. And that's what bothers me more than anything, the lack of integrity. You know, it's not just, oh, well, this is how they feel. If they truly felt that, cool. Like with Dan Stapleton, for instance, right? I think his review was trash, largely because he gave superlatives when he talked about it. He continues to give superlatives when he talks about it, and how he's on his second or third New Game Plus. It's like, brother, that's not a 7 right there. If you're continuously playing it like that and hundreds of hours in, that's just not a 7. But on his own review, he said he had an 8. But after he read his review, he's like, I had to lower it to a 7. That doesn't make sense. It's like not logical. It doesn't make any sense. But going back so I can move to other people, because I've been droning on. Absolutely, Starfield should be nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah. Let's bring in Gerald Mack. I mean, listen, guys, we only have about 10 minutes, and I don't want to go extra long, because I really got to do this, deal with this PC situation. But by all means, just jump in when Gerald Mack is done. I mean, this is, again, we're not even talking about score. To me, it's a 10 out of 10. That's where I'm sitting right now, and that's because I have nearly 4 days in it. I'm not even halfway through. I'm here, there, and everywhere. There has not been. I've had maybe 2 freezes in the whole game. I haven't had any. And that's it. And that might have been my doing. I know that if you have like all of the saves, because I save like a lunatic. I think there was a bug that if you say it had all the saves like locked up, it may lock up your game. It's only happened to me twice, and it was because I quickly pressed the prompt because I reloaded a save because I picked a choice I didn't like. So I was like, I'm not going to go. I want to see how this is going to go. I don't like that. So I reloaded the save like many people do, and I picked the original choice that I was going to go with. I just wanted to see if I went off to the right what it would be, and you're pressing it real quick to kind of get it through. And it locked up. So other than that, I've had no bugs at all. I mean, do you think that this should be nominated for any reason at all?
Yeah, this game should be nominated, I believe, just because of the amount of time that they put into this game, the amount of detail that they put into this game. For me, the dialogue of the game is just as enjoyable as the actual play, the battles and all of that stuff. The dialogue sits right next to it, so the game is a perfect meld of both dialogue and gameplay. So just because of those 2 things, I think it should be nominated. And on the flip side, I think it's probably going to be nominated because at the end of the day, controversy it brings up it opens up curiosity. And the numbers continue to grow with how good the game is, because you can try to downplay it as much as you want. But when you keep talking about it and keep talking about it and keep talking about it, people are going to start asking, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I agree.
And that's going to bring the numbers up. So, again, I keep saying, I appreciate our hooved brothers and sisters for keeping the zeitgeist in the zeitgeist. Appreciate it. So absolutely, it should be nominated for a Game of the Year, and I think it will be.
Yeah, I think as well. Daniel, what are your thoughts on this, man? Game of the Year contender?
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be, right? Like, I'd be surprised if it doesn't get nominated at Achilles, just because they take 6, and I don't know what else would be in that conversation. Like, presumably Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate. And I don't know, maybe Alan Wake and Spider-Man. Like, those are the only ones I can really think of that.
Diablo 4 could be a possibility.
Diablo 4, Hogwarts.
I can see Diablo.
It's definitely not going to be
Fantasy
Hogwarts.
16 too, maybe, right?
Final Fantasy 16?
Probably going to get boxed out because of controversy, because of the political landscape. I think that's what's going to happen to that game, ultimately.
I think Final Fantasy will be the Starfield snub game, if anything.
I would be really offended if it didn't at least get nominated, but I don't think it's going to win. Not that it isn't deserving of it. I mean, I think of all the games I've played this year, it's definitely the best one, at least so far. But I don't know. I listen to all these podcasts from the people who get to vote specifically at the Keeleys. And a lot of them don't seem very hot on it. Like I listen to like the Giant Bomb people don't seem super hot on it. Like they're fine with it. They think it's like good or fine. But they're definitely not putting it up as their game of the year. Kind of Funny might, because I think the only person over there who isn't like in love with it right now is Blessing. He's like, this is good. I just don't think it's for me. IGN obviously gave it a 7, so I doubt that they're going to put it up. Like I hear all these different podcasts from the people who get to vote on it, and it just doesn't seem like it's likely that it's going to get that win, at least not specifically at the Keeleys. And I think it's a shame because I look at the rest of the games that came out this year so far, and I think it outperforms them in basically every metric. I haven't played Baldur's Gate yet, so I don't know. Maybe that's the difference, but it's definitely better than everything else I've played this year.
Well, you know,
do we think that the spread?
Gave, hold on, C-Money. I'll get you in a second, brother. IGN gave Star Wars a 9, but that game up until just recently was broken. I mean, was incredibly broken to the point where I stopped playing it because it was I lost. There were a couple times I lost an hour play because of bugs, and they gave it a 9. They gave it a 9 as is. And it's crazy that this game comes out, Starfield comes out. It is as praised as it is. There are a couple of questionable. Jim Krasinski's a perfect example. This game is the fact that you gave this game a 40 is just crazy to me. I don't even know what to say. I think that should disqualify. I think I agree with Umbra. That should disqualify him from actually being a part of the conversation, because at that point you're not being forthcoming. You're literally just being a D-bag because you have a voice, and you're being and you're allowed to dump a game because you have a problem with Microsoft buying companies, or you don't like Xbox, and that's fine if you don't like Xbox, but then you shouldn't review a game for Xbox.
Probably not. I don't know. It's definitely that situation where, like, I think if you look at it realistically, then you kind of understand that I don't think that there's ever been a game as big as Starfield. Like, this is a situation where, and I don't mean just in terms of the scope of the game, although maybe, but just the way people talked about this game, it's dominated the conversation all year, maybe even before that, right? Like, this was the thing that was on the top of people's tongues all year. People talked more about this than I heard them talking about Tears of the Kingdom. I've certainly heard them talking more about this than talking about Baldur's Gate or Spider-Man, because no one's talking about Spider-Man. Like, this is really just completely taking over the entire conversation online. And, there were people putting a ton of pressure on this game where it's like, this is do or die for Xbox. This is do or die for Bethesda, which of course it wasn't. But, like, everyone was saying that. And it's just kind of ludicrous to think that we're in a situation where, even though that game came out and is being very well received by pretty much everyone who's playing it, that there is a certain level of debate of, like, will it even get nominated at the Keeleys? Because the people who are seemingly not liking it are the people who also get to vote on that. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of a shame.
Well, do we know how many people, like, how many outlets Jeff does? I thought it was like a good amount. Like, I thought it's not just it's not just like a few.
Money. J Rock, shout out to J Rock. He has been tearing it up on social media. He says this, C Money, I doubt it gets nominated, as the jury for the Game Awards is made up of many of the same sites that gave it a 7 or below, like Metro UK. So it seems as if the fix for the Game Awards might have been in literally from the inception of this of Starfield's release. But I don't necessarily know, because Danny makes a great point, C-Money. There are a lot of people that will be voting on this that actually really like the game. Do the few naysayers drown out all of the positivity? I don't know, man. What do you think?
So, I mean, this is the thing. Like, because I'm pretty sure he put out a list, and he talked about, like, there's a good amount of people who vote on this thing. The nice thing about this year, when you have, like, it's not like previous years when there's like God of War and Red Dead, and then like there's other games but nobody cares because there's only God of War or Red Dead that you're voting for. Where now I honestly feel like there's enough nominees that can actually win it when you think about like a Zelda, Baldur's Gate, you know, Starfield if it's nominated, probably Spider-Man because they'll put that in there, Diablo. Like there's games that have a fan base that people are going to, you know, fight for. So what happens there is that the votes are not all going to the same place. So even though they're not voting for Starfield, like the haters are not voting for Starfield,
yeah,
they're not necessarily voting for the same person either, right? Or the same game either. So IGN may be hating on Starfield, but give their vote to Zelda, whereas GameSpot might be hating on Starfield, but give their vote to Diablo, right? So the haters' votes can be split,
Yeah.
and meanwhile, the people who love Starfield are
Might
all
be
going to
vote-
vote for Starfield.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
well, but the problem with that though is that so the way that voting works for the Game Awards is you put up a certain number of nominees for a category, and I think it's like 3 or 4, and every single one of the ones you put in there counts as one vote, right? And so the one who wins is just whoever gets the most nominations from all these different publications. And so I think that there's a very high chance that pretty much every one of these publications puts Tears of the Kingdom on there for clout, or puts Baldur's Gate on there because it's like an indie darling that sort of came out of nowhere. Like I think those two will probably show up on almost everybody's list. Whereas a lot of these, honestly, I'm looking through it right now, and some of these probably shouldn't be on there at all. Like what the hell's the LA Times got to do with this? You know what I'm saying? Like why are
Well,
they here?
according to the wiki,
publicity for them.
it says here the Game Awards has a voting jury consisting of over 100 video game and media and influencer outlets, which have specifically been selected for their work in critically evaluating video games.
Yeah, well, I mean, Metro UK and The Guardian are on here, so critically might not be the
Why
best.
in the world is Metro on there?
Good question.
That's
Ridiculous.
It's for publicity for them. They want
the Jeff Gerstmann shows on here, and that's literally one
everywhere.
dude. I mean, like it's Jeff Gerstmann, he's a cool dude, but it's literally one dude.
So, so at the end of the day, Microsoft is dealing with a stacked deck when it comes to people who's going to be voting for Game of the Year, right?
Yeah, they are, but honestly, I do feel like there's something to the fact that I feel like the people who are not going to vote for Starfield, like I don't think it's just counts as one vote. I think it's weighted, right? Like if Kind of Funny says here's the 5 games we think should be nominated for Game of the Year, but this is the one we think we should win. I mean, they have to put some type of weight to it, right? Because then it's almost like why would you put any game that you don't want to win? Right? Because then you'll just be screwing yourself if your plan as an outlet is to have your game win. So I just feel, honestly, I feel like the people who are not going to vote for Starfield have a better chance of splitting their votes amongst themselves.
Yeah.
People who want Starfield to win are going to vote for Starfield, right? Like that is where I think Starfield has a chance. You know, because there's only so many haters out there. How many reviews are there? 5 or 6 that are that low?
I had a few of them. There were. Let me get it.
Like Bethesda put up a thing with 56 reviews, 9 and above.
All right. So what it has here is 73 critics reviews are generally favorable. There were let's see. Yeah, it just has that. The user score is a 6.4 because it's a user score. No one cares.
Yeah, but user is full of crap because there's a bunch of people doing nonsense in there.
Let me pull up the actual critic reviews, and I'll be able to tell you. Let's see. Here are the latest user reviews. This is the. Let me view all. Let me check it out. I can tell you right now exactly how many are poor. Okay, so I'm scrolling down. A lot of 90s, a lot of 100s, a lot of high 85s, a lot of 80s, ton of 80s.
I'm on the Game Awards.
So this is where we get into the 70s. Digital Trends gives it a 70. PC Mag, GameSpot, IGN, 70. The So Video Game Podcast. Like, how is that even a thing?
All that bullshit one.
They're not on the Game Awards panel, so they don't count.
No,
they gave it a 65. Metro Game Central gave it a 60. Let's see.
Metro is on there.
Yeah.
So I went onto the Game Awards website to look at how their voting works, and here's what it says. It says each voting outlet completes a confidential, unranked ballot based on the collective and diverse opinions of its entire editorial staff. So the entire publication gets one list, and it's unranked, and those are their nominees.
That's whack.
For each category. And if they don't have 5 nominees for a category, then they just leave that category blank and they don't submit on it at all.
Oh wow.
So they're so then they're just putting in for one vote. So they're saying, okay, we think these 5 people should be nominated for it.
Yeah.
And amongst everyone who believes they should be nominated, if your game is on more of those ballots than anywhere else,
then you win the award. Yeah.
Then you win the award.
It says ballots are tabulated, and then the 5 games that appear on the most ballots are put forth as nominees. In the event of a tie, 6 or more nominees will be announced in the category. And then it makes it very clear that Jeff doesn't get to vote because everyone knows that the Game Awards are fixed.
Yeah, of course. Of course. So you figure that's only, 4 major publications, Digital Trends, PC Gamer, GameSpot, and IGN?
Yeah.
Who gave it a 7. And Metro, 5. So 5 gave it a 7 or below. Versus way more who gave it a higher number. So you figure, like I said, you take those 5 people, okay, those people are out of the equation. Maybe they don't even put the game on their list just to really stick it to them, right?
The reason why I'm upset with the whole aggregate, because you got so many more giving it 9s and such and 10s.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. And yet these people weighed them down enough to take it to an 84 or whatever it is now. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so stupid. They weighed it crazy, man.
Yeah, like how do they have so much power over the mass of people who gave it great scores, and just those 4 or 5 publications were able to bring it down so much with just them?
The way they must look at it is because those 4 or 5, those 4, pretty much IGN and GameSpot combined, take up for probably 90% of the viewership of these articles. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, again, IGN has 17 million subscribers, dude.
Yes.
That's just on that's just YouTube, man.
Yeah.
So it's like they have the weight. Now, the only thing that works in Starfield's favor there, Dan, based off of what you said, it's based off of what everyone believes at the place. So if Ryan McCaffrey doesn't turn into a little, biatch, and doesn't just stand up and be like, bro, Starfield needs to be on there, chances are it could still end up on their list overall, one of the 5 slots.
And
I do think that a lot of the because there are certain publications on here who I would not name as like video game publications, like the LA Times is on here, even the Guardian, right? And I think some of them might put Starfield up just because it was so big. Like, Starfield was such a big game that we saw Phil Spencer talking about it on like stock trading shows and property because it was such a big game.
Nobody was talking about PG3.
And so clear. They might get more votes there. I would just be surprised if it won, because I'm looking at the nominees and not the jury, and so many of the people on here are like, I don't know, they're just people that I wouldn't trust and that I don't know how they got on here. Like the Game Ranks YouTube channel gets a jury, or gets on the jury, and it's like, you mean those guys who just make nonstop top 10 lists that are like nonsense? What opinions do they have that is worthwhile?
So no, Jake Balladino. What's his name? Jake Balladino.
Mm-hmm.
He does it. He does like
him and I think like 3 other people or something.
Yeah,
so,
Falcon.
It's like, and I like Jake Balladino, but he's not like a reviewer.
Do you all think they're going to give us that fan voted game of the year thing they did before?
Probably.
Probably will.
I wonder what a win then.
That was what made Forza the game of the year. Forza 5 and Horizon, right?
No, it was Halo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
No, because Forza didn't get nominated, even though it was the best reviewed game of the year, because the Game Awards are broken.
Yep. So true.
It's so stupid.
Well, look, at the end of the day, folks, play the game, enjoy the game. Real quick, we had two more super chats coming here. Splendiferous, good friend of the program, drops a $2 super chat and says, so with that said, should only PC gamers do reviews? Yeah, I know that's just, I don't know if that if you're talking about Baldur's Gate 3, no, I think because if it's a PC only game and you're not playing it, then you probably shouldn't be reviewing it. I'm not sure if that's what you meant, but
no, because he's saying like, should they only be the ones counted for like their PC review of the game? I mean, we'd have to say no unanimously because they're judging it off what the PC build is.
To be honest, I don't actually know why they bother separating the like these are the PC scores and these are the Xbox scores and these are the PlayStation scores. Like, I guess the reasoning for it would be maybe it performs slightly different on different platforms.
Yep.
But most reviews don't take that into account because they're playing on a pre-launch build where they're promised that everything is going to be good by the time it comes out anyway, and it usually isn't. But they almost never review it based on like, oh, I ran into a bug here and a bug there. Like, I don't know. I think it just makes it overly complicated and it splits it up in a way that kind of, I don't know. There's so many things about like reviewing and reward, like awards in this industry that I think are just fundamentally broken. Metacritic being high on that list.
The PC
that would be probably a 2-hour
thing.
show all by itself, Daniel.
Oh,
because, Metacritic is a 10-point scale, but yet some people are some sites use 5 points.
They put it in as a 5
point.
point.
If you give it 4 and 5, it's an 80.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know.
And they still include reviews that don't give it a score at all. So I don't know why
they should force them to convert it to a 10-point
score
if they want it to be on Metacritic.
I agree. I was going to say those PC and
this is just
console thing. I get the difference there, but what I don't care for is when they have an Xbox versus PlayStation score, because most people are going to be reviewing it off PlayStation. So then you'll have a 96 over there, but it's an 82 over here because only 5 people played it, or something, or 6 people or something on Xbox.
It's like the one guy who did.
It's right.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the whole review system is broken, man. It needs an overhaul, but
it's not good.
It's just no way to.
Well, you know, it's going to be interesting to see because, like I said, the zeitgeist for Starfield is unrelenting. Everyone is still talking about it. It is still trending each and every day. Writer for Life 76 drops an additional $5 super chat and says Starfield is dope. Sadly, I've only played about 10 hours because he is stuck in Baldur's Gate 3, which that's perfectly fair. And, of course, real life he's working. Listen, brother, you know, everyone is going to review the game and enjoy the game on different scales and levels. Here on the panel, everyone is very high on the game. We have hours upon hours upon hours. This is a game I'm going to have 2, 3, 4, maybe even 500 hours in before I'm done with it because it's that good of a game. My brother he built a ship so big, guys. He sent me a picture of it. It has 8,000 room for storage. 8,000.
Holy shit!
And he took a picture.
Huge.
And he looks like an action figure next to this thing. That's how big it is, and it has 4 levels.
Believe it or not, you can get even more storage than that.
Yeah.
You have to. People might not know this. There's actually upgrades that you can get for your character where you unlock new parts for shipbuilding, which is partially why I haven't started shipbuilding yet. Because there's literally one where it's like, this is for car enthusiasts. It makes your ship look super like aesthetically pleasing, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to bother to like get that then.
That's exactly what I did. Cool, that's why I'm waiting. Yep, exactly reason why I'm waiting.
That is crazy. Like I did all the important stuff
to get all the pieces. You have to be level 60.
Endurance. You know, I want to be able to carry more stuff. I didn't do any. I did my shoddy. Listen, look, folks. Thank you so much for not only being here. Shout out to Infinite Umbra who handled the business for almost 90 minutes before I
Great job, Umbra. Great job, bro.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I was listening in the background and I'm like, yeah, he actually really is a good freaking host. So Umbra, let's start with you first, brother. You are obviously the host of The Fix each and every week on Thursdays with Danny here. And you have a big show coming up. Let's talk about it, man. Sell your brand. Where can people reach out to you on social media? But more importantly, subscribe to your channel and The Fix.
Yes, of course. You all can find me on the X, which I'm going to call now. So Xbox brand, Twitter, what used to be Twitter. You can find me on the Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite. You will find me either way. Of course, here on Tuesdays, 12 o'clock Eastern, you all know what it be. And Thursdays, myself and Daniel McGee with a rotating guest list. Typically, C Money is there with us nowadays. More often than not. And so if you all could be and you feel so inclined to come and give us a follow there, it's on my channel here, and I'll post it in a minute in the chat. The Fix is at 8 o'clock Eastern, and for us here, somebody asked earlier, 7 o'clock Central. So yeah, definitely come by and show us love. And on Fridays, of course, Xbox Infinite podcast. We might be doing some changes over there. So now we have myself, Risk It, Jedi Knight Peter, and that blue number who was now the newest member, Holly. So definitely come back. She has some great takes as well, like really, really solid. True gamer, like really top notch. And so yeah, you guys come by and show us love on it. I'm going to post it in the chat. If you all have not subscribed to the Fix, please do us a favor and do so.
Yep, definitely appreciate that very much, dude. And again, thank you so much for hosting as I handled this nightmare of a day.
Anytime.
Daniel, let's sell your brand. Not only do you have your own channel, of course, where you are currently rewriting the DCEU, but you put your own personal opinion videos on there, like the people see the people head over to your channel and subscribe. But of course, you are one half of the Fix with Infinite Umbra. Talk about it, man, and where can people reach out to you on social media?
Yeah, so you can, of course, find me at The Fix, like Umbra said, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. You can find me on Twitter or X at Daniel J. McG, or at my personal YouTube channel of Daniel McG. I'm actually putting up a video, hopefully tomorrow, just talking about Game Pass and how it works, because it seems like there's somehow still some confusion about how Game Pass makes money. So I just wanted to make a video where I run through the numbers and lay out exactly how that works, because I don't know why people are still confused about it, but I'm really hoping that people will like that one. So come on by. It should be up pretty soon.
Nice. Well, looking forward to that as always. Love the work you do over there. And he has great long and short content, folks. Definitely check him out there, and also on the Fix. C Money, sell the brand, brother. I was a guest last week with you and the missus. It was really enjoyable. One of my favorite interviews in a very, very long time. Talk about your very unique podcast with your family, and more importantly, where can people subscribe and reach out to you on social media?
Oh, definitely, man. Thanks again, Boom, for having me. It was a fun episode today. Felt like the Fix part 2, back in with Umbra leading the way. It was a fun time, man. We had a good show. So thank you, panel, for being so awesome. So we have our channel. We recently rebranded to On Point for Gamers. Boom was on our very first episode of Her, Him, and a Guest. And it was fantastic. So you should definitely go check it out if you have not. Today is actually Her, Him, and the Guest day. So we have tonight, well, actually in a couple hours at 4 p.m. Eastern time, our next episode of Her, Him, and the Mic will be with the man himself, King David of the Iron Lord podcast. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, come watch, come show the king some love. Let him know that we're there for him, because he's the man. So definitely come by. Normal time for that show is 7 o'clock, but because he works nights, we moved it up for him. So 4 o'clock. Then we have our On Point Anime Beyond. That is on Friday nights at 9 p.m. And we basically just broke off our anime and movie TV talk from our main podcast on Saturday and gave it its own time slot, which actually we had our first episode last Friday night. And it was great. It was fun. It was great to just focus on anime and TV movie stuff. So it was definitely a good time. So come by and check that out. And then on Saturdays, we have our On Point the Gaming newscast. It's our big weekly show where we talk all things gaming with my wife Doodle. She was in the chat earlier, and my son Madman. And we have a great time. We talk gaming. So definitely come by and check that out. And then last one, I know we have a lot of shows now, like Boom over here. We're up to 4. And we have our Monday morning show. It's just a chill show. It's called Morning Quest. It's me and Doodle and my wife Doodle. And we just, we talk gaming. We talk whatever's going on, for an hour and a half. It's a good time. It's a great way to start the week off right. So yeah, guys, if you would, come by, check out the channel, give us a sub. I'll put I just dropped the link in there now. Come check it out. Again, if not for nothing else, come by and check out the King tonight, or like I said, in 2 hours, 4 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a fun night, man. It's going to be fun. We try to do things different with our interview show. It's a little different than most. So it's a good time. Come check it out. We appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for doing what you guys do. Again, it's a very unique and fun show, family-oriented. And I love to see it because not a lot of people are doing those types of shows. So definitely get over there and check out C-Money. And last and no way least, Gerald Mack, brother, thank you so much. Mr. Graybeard himself. Sell your brand, brother. Where could people reach out to you and potentially strike up a conversation? What else you got going on?
Boom, first of all, thanks so much for having me, man. Like I said earlier, this was a check on my bucket list to be able to sit here and talk games with guys, same minded guys about video games. So at the moment, I don't have a specific channel. You could just find me on Twitter at JMac. I'm there. I'm always chiming in on all this nonsense that's going on in the gaming industry. But I try to keep it cool and respectful. Don't want to hurt nobody's feelings unless they deserve it. But at the end of the day, it was really nice working with all you guys, Infinite Umbra, C-Money, Daniel McGee. You guys are some of the best in the business. And I just really appreciate the opportunity to do this because I got 1,000 friends that I play games with every day, and all they play is Call of Duty and 2K, so they're not into it like this. So it's nice to be able to get some of this off, and with people like-minded. So again, I appreciate it and looking forward to putting something together in the future. Probably some great beers of gaming.
That sounds good, brother.
So,
there's definitely no show out there that does that. So
right. So, I'm really into it. So, I appreciate you guys for letting me kind of dip my toe. So again.
Well, it's great to have you here, brother. Obviously, the invite door is always open. We'll get you back on for sure. And of course, before we get out of here, I want to thank everybody for bearing with the technical difficulties. And again, shout out to the panel for holding it down while I deal with this mess. But listen, folks, thank you so much for the super chats. They do come in handy, and obviously we're going to pay you. We're gonna pay it forward, if you will, by we have a big $500 show coming up at the end of the month. We have one in November, and we have a $1,500 2-hour holiday show to close out 2023. And we can't do that without the channel memberships and without the super chats. So we want to thank you so much for that. And of course, let me just make sure that everyone that I got more super chats here. Hold on just a second. Let me just make sure. We actually had a couple come in here. Sat Nis drops very generous $2 super chat and says, what we need is the Game Pass Awards. Oh, I like that. That would be actually kind of dope.
That's pretty cool right there, bro. Idea. That's a
maybe we should talk to Retry.
Master. Yeah, Master and Game Pass Awards. That's
yes,
two nice ones of the day. Hashtag Master.
Microsoft should definitely take that idea and run with it. Maxie Coleman drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Didn't you watch the Emergency Unlocked? Ryan McCaffrey is already biatch." I mean, that's true. I put it this way: everyone was uncomfortable during that podcast, including Dan Stapleton, when he tried to sell his brand to the others, and they were like, yeah.
It was so funny because Ryan literally gave him pushback. I was surprised by that. That was not my experience. Yeah. So kudos to him. I still wish he was the one that reviewed it because
he should have reviewed it, bro. He's
that would have changed everything
when it comes to the Xbox community. And if Ryan would have given it a 7 out of 10, you would have been like, well, you know what? Let him explain himself.
I would have trusted it more had he gave that than I would Dan Stapleton.
Yeah, me too.
Based off their track record.
Well, I mean, Dan Stapleton did say that, there will be repercussions if Starfield becomes exclusive, as it was, and he did. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to close the show, as I always do, with something that's incredibly important to me. Hopefully one day, folks, it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught me when we were kids, and he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, Craig. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of the Xbox Factor Podcast.